Q patriots around the world uniting. Q school, bringing the sauce through studying their daily Q codes. Q drops, deltas, Q roots. Where we go on, we go all. Q patriots are friends, we are bring down the cabal. Say all on, sing it proud, Q worldwide. Where we go on, we go all. Niggas like coke cracks up at Q school. Bring the daily rap fire news, Q sauce. News unlocks the map, but with Q school patriots, trust the G plan. E school worldwide, Q school patriots. Remember, we go on, we go all.
I am Ashtar, commander of the Galactic Light Forces, and I address you now with urgency, clarity, and empowerment. In this unfolding stage of Earth's development and ascension, truth is rising, and immense changes are on the horizon. Many of you feel it. The long night of control is ending, and a new dawn is approaching. I affirm that the plan to liberate humanity is real. It is well underway, and the momentum toward freedom grows stronger each day. For years, an alliance of light on your world, brave souls in the military, in governments, and among ordinary people, quietly prepared to dismantle the dark power structure that has oppressed humanity. Now, those preparations are bearing fruit in a series of mass arrests unlike anything in history. High-profile figures who once pulled strings from the shadows are being taken into custody one after another. This includes corrupt leaders, financiers of human misery, and perpetrators of unspeakable crimes. There have even been symbolic signals of this takedown. For example, at one public rally, a version of your flag with no stars was displayed, a covert sign among insiders that the operation to reclaim the Republic was underway. Indeed, patriots within the ranks have begun moving against those who hijacked your institutions from within. Even now, coordinated operations are unfolding across the globe. Special forces under Alliance Command are executing raids in multiple countries to capture deep state operatives, crooked politicians, powerful bankers, media moguls complicit in propaganda, and other agents of darkness. Many of these individuals fancied themselves untouchable as they orchestrated wars and traded lives for profit. Those days are ending. If all proceeds as planned, this will be the largest reshuffle in human history, happening even as I speak.
The ancient Incan people named alpaca the fiber of the gods, and it's easy to understand why. Alpacas have been
Secure facilities have been prepared to hold these high-value detainees. This includes a certain fortified island base you have heard whispers about, which has been upgraded into an impenetrable stronghold. No one sent there will escape justice. We in the Ashtar Command are assisting from above, ensuring no rogue element can interfere or rescue these individuals from custody while maintaining the Prime Directive. The evidence of their crimes is overwhelming. Years of investigation yielded tens of thousands of sealed documents. Now many have been unsealed, resulting in the arrests of tens of thousands of individuals worldwide, including military-industrial players, financial kingpins, global NGO directors, and even officials within religious institutions. The scope of this operation is truly global, reaching into every sphere where the Cabal's tentacles extended. You might wonder how so many roundups could happen with so little publicity. The answer: many early arrests were deliberately covert. Over the past few years, numerous lower-level conspirators were quietly detained without fanfare. Even some higher-level figures were secretly placed under house arrest, wearing tracking devices to prevent their escape. Many of you have been correct about this. All of this occurred outside the spotlight of the news, buying time for the alliance to set the stage for the final public phase. Now that public phase approaches. Soon, you will see open announcements of arrests and charges. Prepare to witness well-known figures, people who were held up as benefactors and leaders, exposed and brought to justice. No one is exempt. It is very likely even a former holder of your nation's highest office will be among those accused of high treason or other grave crimes. In fact, the leader who succeeded that person has openly hinted that this individual and his cronies have been fully unmasked for their misdeeds.
Obamagate!
Their day of accountability is coming.
Nobody's above the law!
Take heart. Justice is being served. The process will be by the book. Lawful tribunals with undeniable evidence, not vigilante revenge. Many trials will occur in military courts, since crimes like treason and crimes against humanity are involved. Do not fear if you see military personnel keeping order. This is martial justice, not martial law, carried out by true patriots under constitutional principles. In fact, some trials have already quietly happened and verdicts rendered. Soon, however, these tribunals will enter the public stage once secure communications are in place. More on that shortly. Realize how far-reaching this cleanup is. Entire networks of corruption are being dismantled. Alliance raids have quietly removed certain infamous media barons, tech tycoons, and international bankers who were linchpins of the cabal's system. Their names will be revealed in due time. Even members of royalty, long suspected of human trafficking, have been detained. By taking out these key players, the entire edifice of lies, blackmail, and manipulation is collapsing. Meanwhile, whistleblowers are coming forward in droves. Many who were complicit out of fear are now stepping up to testify as they see the tide turning. The momentum of truth is growing like a snowball. From our vantage point, the cabal is losing the information war. Leaks of documents, videos, and insider testimony are flooding out through alternative channels. The facade of their control is cracking, and soon an unstoppable wave of truth will sweep across the collective consciousness of humanity. The remaining cabal operatives are not surrendering quietly. Cornered and desperate, they have tried numerous countermeasures to delay or derail the alliance's plan. In desperation, the cabal has even attempted violent attacks on alliance leaders, cyber warfare to destroy evidence, and economic sabotage to instill fear. Nearly all these efforts have been thwarted, and each failure only exposes their weakness. One major concern has been the cabal's grip on mainstream media and big tech. As evidence of their wrongdoing emerges, their media mouthpieces might attempt one last campaign of denial or confusion. Expect them to cry hoax or political persecution when the arrests go public, hoping to incite panic or resistance. They might even temporarily disrupt parts of the internet or social media, or flood the news with distracting false narratives, all to keep people in the dark a bit longer. This is exactly why we see that the secret broadcast array is most likely going to be used. Here is one scenario and how it may play out, just to prepare you. The Alliance will use this system at a key moment, likely when the mass arrests go public, to bypass the media and speak directly to everyone. The broadcast array will override all TV, radio, and phone networks, allowing announcements and truthful information to reach all citizens without distortion. It will use a quantum-backed system. Through this channel, you will learn what has occurred, the crimes of those arrested, and any instructions if needed. In
Tactiles are
essence,
important.
it lets the truth be delivered straight to everyone. In extreme scenarios, there may be brief, localized outages of power or internet as the final operations unfold. These will be temporary and are intended to sever any remaining Cabal communications and to focus everyone's attention on the transmission. Do not be alarmed. Essential services will return quickly. The messages will likely run in loops for several days to ensure everyone receives the information. Stay calm and encourage others to remain calm as well. This is not a fearful event, and especially not for you starseeds. Why would this be necessary, and how likely is it? Because, dear ones, the Cabal will try every trick to distract or frighten people away from awakening. They may incite riots or violence through their remaining proxies, or stage false events, engineered crises or tragedies, to divert attention and sympathy. They might throw out shocking news as a distraction, anything to make headlines away from their downfall. We know they have considered even a fake alien invasion scare or a new health panic to whip up fear. They would rather you focus on anything other than them being brought to justice. But none of these ploys will succeed. The Alliance knows their playbook and has countermeasures ready for every scenario. If this does go into effect, no amount of misdirected news or staged chaos can stop the truth from reaching the people. When the alerts appear, you will know the final phase has arrived. Stay attentive to the broadcasts. They will present evidence, confessions, and solutions, and help guide everyone through the shock into hope. This truly will be the great awakening of humanity. Many among the awakened expected a sudden, miraculous shift into a golden age by now. In truth, the transformation is happening more gradually and realistically, through real-world events like mass arrests, disclosures, and reforms, rather than an instant cosmic flash. This process may seem messy or slower than hoped, but it is how the higher plan is unfolding. By going through these tangible steps, humanity is actively involved in its own liberation and gaining the wisdom to preserve it. The destination is the same, a free, enlightened Earth, but the journey is coming in stages. This approach, if it occurs, may actually maximize awakening and healing. If everything changed overnight without struggle, the lessons would not stick. Instead, by facing hard truths and overcoming challenges directly, humanity grows spiritually and unites. Yes, 2025 brings some turbulence. There could be moments of confusion, unrest, or grief as long-hidden truths come to light. But these will be followed by tremendous breakthroughs. This is where your role as lightworkers is vital, to stay calm and compassionate, and to help others understand when their world is shaken. Do not be discouraged by temporary chaos, or the fact that events didn't happen exactly as any one prophecy predicted. Many potential timelines existed. The best one is being realized now, even if it took a bit longer. We of the Galactic Light Forces have been quietly working to ensure the worst outcomes the Cabal intended were prevented, keeping humanity on the optimal timeline for ascension. The glorious outcome is assured. Earth will be free and uplifted, and it is happening in perfect divine timing. A critical part of Earth's liberation is exposing the deepest crimes of a small few, especially those against the innocent. Many of you have heard whispers of the list of influential names tied to an infamous global network. This is the list of powerful individuals in politics, royalty, finance, media, and more, who were involved in or enabled the abuse and exploitation of young ones and young people. The Cabal has lived in terror of this list, becoming fully public, knowing it would shatter their masquerade of respectability. The Alliance's possession of this list has been a powerful weapon in the Shadow War. Behind the scenes, Alliance operatives secured the complete evidence from that operation. They obtained the hidden video recordings, travel documentation of private travels to the secret destination, the contact books and financial ledgers. Everything, with help from certain insiders and a bit of advanced tech, they pulled this data out of the Cabal's reach. The Alliance then used it strategically, in some cases showing individuals proof of their crimes to quietly flip them into cooperating, in others, simply holding the threat of exposure to keep key Cabal figures in check. This is still ongoing. All the while, the Cabal desperately tried to hide or destroy this evidence. They sealed court files, stalled investigations, and yes, arranged for the convenient removal of the ringleader while in custody to silence him. They thought removing him and scattering his secrets would bury the truth. It did not. Courageous independent journalists and researchers kept digging. Over time, names of high-profile visitors to the secret destination, flight manifest details, and victim testimonies trickled out despite heavy censorship. The dam of secrecy is about to break. In a recent breakthrough, the reformed justice leadership of one major nation began releasing these hidden files officially. Early this year, a new attorney general, allied with the constitutional patriot leaders, ordered the archives declassified. The first batch of documents confirmed a horrifying scope: hundreds of victims and a vast web of co-conspirators across continents. Imagine an official report openly acknowledging a global crime ring. What the mainstream once dismissed as conspiracy is now documented fact. This has shattered much of the public's denial about the depth of evil that was operating behind closed doors. When the full truth of this network comes out, the public will be horrified at who was involved. Lifelong reputations will crumble. But this is necessary. Humanity must see the truth, no matter how dark, so that such atrocities are never allowed to fester in our world again. Revealing this network is central to the mass arrests. In fact, many upcoming arrests of prominent figures will center on charges of trafficking, exploitation, or worse. Investigators have confirmed what some brave researchers long alleged. This trafficking ring was part of a dark cult at the highest levels of society, using the abuse of young ones and the filming of these acts to blackmail and control the world's most powerful people. The Alliance now has confessions from some of those involved, naming prominent families and organizations as orchestrators of these awful rituals. It's exactly what certain whistleblowers described: a cult of darkness operating at the top echelons, binding its members through unspeakable acts and mutual blackmail. This is the deepest, ugliest secret behind so much of the planet's suffering. And now it is being dragged into the light. Also, be on guard for disinformation once the list begins coming out, despite what has recently been announced. The Cabal may attempt to muddy the waters by leaking fake lists or editing names to create doubt. They might also sacrifice a few lower-level members of their clique, allowing some well-known or minor figures to take the fall publicly, in hopes of appeasing public outrage and distracting from the truly powerful players. Do not be fooled. Demand full accountability for all involved, no matter their status. The Alliance anticipated these tactics and has the entire trove of evidence cross-verified with multiple backups. In the tribunals to come, you will see that the proof is overwhelming. The perpetrators will have nowhere to hide or spin the truth. The digital and physical records of their deeds are secured, and even the spiritual records, the karmic Akashic records, bear witness. The truth will cut through all their lies and bring every last one of these evildoers to justice. Know that exposing this darkness, as painful as it will be, is one of the main reasons for the emergency broadcasts. A significant portion of the special broadcasts will be dedicated to showing the public the truth of these crimes against humanity. The Alliance will present it as carefully as possible, but some of it must be shown. They have prepared documentary-style footage, including victim and witness testimonies, and, if necessary, selected portions of the actual incriminating videos, with viewer discretion warnings. It will be difficult to watch. It will anger and grieve the nation and the world. But from that collective sorrow and outrage will arise a unified resolve. Never again will we allow such evil to lurk in the halls of power. Never again will we turn a blind eye to the suffering of the innocent. Remember, the plan here isn't just to arrest a few individuals. It is to uproot an entire evil system. The trafficking network was one head of the Hydra. Other heads, the corrupted banking systems, used for money laundering and bribes, the compromised officials in courts and law enforcement, the secret society rituals, and even twisted medical and scientific projects. All of it will be exposed and dismantled in due time. One revelation will lead to another, like a chain reaction. Once the avalanche of disclosure truly begins, it will be unstoppable. The cleanup will continue until every last tentacle of darkness has been cut away from our world. If and when this scenario is activated, and we will continue to remind you that nothing is guaranteed. After the mass arrests and the EBS disclosures, there will follow a period of official justice to ensure full accountability. This process may take many months or even years to play out completely, given the sheer number of individuals involved worldwide. The most high-profile trials will be public and likely broadcast live, much like the post-World War II trials on your world that you know of, but on a larger scale. Other proceedings, especially for lesser-known figures, might be conducted quietly, but their records will be preserved and eventually made public as part of our world's history. Humanity will witness those who once held great power answering for their deeds in courts of law. This will stand as a powerful lesson for future generations. No one is above the law of the Creator or the laws of moral humanity. As we near the conclusion of this message, I want to focus on the dawn that follows the darkness and your role in what comes next. Each one of you is a participant in this grand story, not just a spectator. Your consciousness and your actions in the coming days matter immensely. Every prayer for peace, every meditation holding light, each time you calmly share truth and dispel fear, every act of kindness and unity, you are co-creating the reality of freedom on earth. The Cabal spent decades trying to divide you by politics, race, religion, and more, because they feared what you could accomplish united. Now, as their influence crumbles, it is time to remember our oneness. Many around you who were asleep will suddenly awaken in shock and confusion. Please treat them with compassion. Do not say, "I told you so." Instead, extend a hand and say, "We will get through this together." Guide them patiently as someone once guided you. Those of you who have long understood and prepared, your moment of service and leadership is at hand. Consider how many brave souls have helped pave the way for this moment. Independent truth journalists exposed hidden corruption, whistleblowers leaked vital information, and visionary authors and speakers kept hope alive by predicting the scenario of mass arrests and divine intervention that is now beginning to unfold. On alternative media, countless digital warriors, ordinary citizens, and even some former celebrities spread awareness of trafficking and tyranny, waking up people who might otherwise have remained in the dark. Mysterious insider patriots also dropped cryptic hints to assure those paying attention that a plan was in place and a great storm of justice was coming. At the same time, spiritual teachers and channelers urged everyone to stay calm, hold love in their hearts, and trust in divine timing. Though these helpers came from different walks of life and focused on different aspects of the truth, all were working in harmony, knowingly or not, to prepare humanity for what is happening now. Honor all these contributions, and know that each of you has a part to play as well. The time for division among truth seekers is over. Every path of service, whether exposing corruption or spreading love and healing, has been part of the same divine plan for Earth's liberation. Now, my dear brothers and sisters of Earth, brace yourselves for what comes next, not with fear, but with strength, clarity, and love. The revelations ahead will be intense, but you have the fortitude to handle them. You wouldn't be here at this historic moment otherwise. I believe that once the initial shock passes, the vast majority of humanity will choose understanding, forgiveness, and peace. In fact, even now the collective consciousness is showing incredible signs of awakening. People who just weeks ago trusted every bit of the old narrative are starting to question and sense that something big is happening. This is the soul of humanity preparing for freedom. Ashtar Command and our entire galactic fleet stand by to assist you through these times. We have been quietly working to ensure this transition goes as smoothly as possible. And when the dust settles and the cabal is gone, we look forward to increasing our visible presence. Do not be surprised if you begin to see more sightings of our craft in the skies, presented in ways that feel reassuring and miraculous rather than frightening. We coordinate with the Earth Alliance so that when we make more direct contact, it will be welcomed with joy. In the not-too-distant future, after the healing process is underway, humanity will finally meet many of us as friends. The old quarantine of Earth is ending. Your planet will rejoin the galactic community openly, as was always destined. The trials you are experiencing now are the labor pains of a new world being born. So get ready. The long dark night is nearly over and the golden age dawns. It has been foretold by prophets and sages for millennia, and now you will live to see it. The tyrants and hidden handlers who thought themselves rulers of Earth are being removed. Those who flee will be caught, and those who plot in the shadows will be exposed by the light. We the people, united, backed by we the Galactics and the forces of heaven, are taking your planet back. The changes that follow will touch every aspect of life. Here is a glimpse of what awaits in the new Earth that you will build together. True freedom. Power will return to the people. Governance will be cleaned up and entrusted to wise, honest leaders who truly serve the public. No more hidden oligarchs or shadow governments. Financial liberation. A fair new financial system will replace the old debt slavery model. Debts will be forgiven, and prosperity will be shared worldwide, ending poverty and economic manipulation. technological renaissance. Suppressed technologies for free energy and miraculous healing will be made available to all. Imagine energy without pollution, cures for diseases, and advancements that improve quality of life for everyone. Planetary healing. The environment will be restored, pollution will be cleansed, and Mother Earth will be nurtured back to health. With harmonious technologies and responsible stewardship, humanity will heal the damage and live in balance with nature, unity and peace. Humanity will recognize itself as one family. Old prejudices and divisions will fade away. With truth revealed, conflicts engineered by deceit will cease. All cultures and nations will work together in mutual respect, writing a new chapter of cooperation, fairness, and harmony on Earth. With the cabal gone, the creative genius of humanity will be unleashed as never before. Solutions to long-standing challenges will emerge quickly when billions of free, inspired people apply their hearts and minds. Earth will become a shining world of innovation, abundance, and joy. The world it was always meant to be. Before I close, on behalf of the Galactic Federation and the Ascended Masters, I offer our deepest gratitude and congratulations to all of you who have persevered and contributed to this victory of the light. The road was long and often hard. Many times it may have seemed the darkness was too strong. But you held the light, you kept faith, and now here we are. You have made it to the breakthrough. The heavens truly rejoice at what you, the people of Earth, have accomplished. The heroes of this story, known and unknown, will be celebrated for ages to come. Even those who gave their lives in this struggle, the martyrs of truth and freedom, are being honored and cared for in the higher realms. Their sacrifice was not in vain. So stay strong just a little longer. Events are reaching a crescendo. By the time this chapter is done, your world will be almost unrecognizable compared to the one you were born into. When you find yourself on the other side of this storm, the sky clear and the air of true freedom in your lungs, you will understand the magnitude of what has occurred and the role each of you played. You will likely shed tears of joy, and we will be shedding them with you from above. There will be beautiful reunions with your galactic family, who will finally be able to embrace you openly. With soul family members you didn't even know were incarnated alongside you, and perhaps most importantly, a reunion with the hope and innocence that will be restored in your hearts. Take care of yourselves and each other through these times of change. Stay grounded, connect with nature, stay present, and connect often to Source through prayer or meditation. Keep that vision of the new earth alive in your heart, for it is manifesting even now. Know that we are here, quietly assisting, until the day comes when we can show ourselves openly and celebrate this grand victory with you. We love you deeply and unconditionally. Now stand tall in your power and stand firm in peace. Watch as the darkness falls and the light prevails. The dawn of a new day is here. I am Ashtar, commander of the Galactic Light Forces. I leave you in the eternal light of our Creator, in love always.
Wow. What a message.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Good timing.
Right. There's
Nice
your,
way. What a nice way to start week 11 here on Q School, brother Kyle. Where'd you find that gem?
I just came across it randomly. It was actually a couple months ago, but I guess the timing was right just now to play it. A lot of big things happened this weekend. I was doing football, but I was catching up with it last night. I mean, just massive things. that special envoy for the Russian special envoy guy. He literally tweeted, "The storm is coming." He put the clouds in there. I think Mel's got a video about General Flynn talking about the EBS. I don't know if that was just recently or not. So there's just some really, you can just feel it. You can really feel it coming, how it's coming down. I think this whole month is going to be pretty big. I know some people think it's all going to happen now. I don't think so. I think Tim's, and I think hopefully that video helped you understand it, right? And I've said those kind of things before too, right? Or we've all said different things like that. In the very beginning, I don't know if you guys were in here yet, but it said if it happened overnight, we wouldn't have learned the lessons, right? And even the Q jobs kind of say that, sometimes you have to walk through the darkness to see the light as well. And regardless of whatever your beliefs are about that particular message, where it comes from, I think I always encourage people not to get too caught up who the messenger is or what they say. Just take the things that resonate, whether you understand to be angels or interdimensional or whatever. It doesn't really matter. As long as, again, we're all on the same page of what we really want, which is unity, love, in a brand new world. That's not the way it's been. What's been hijacked system to control us, right? True freedom. But that also, to have true freedom means we have to have accountability and responsibility for ourselves. And that's it. Basically that said kind of earlier on too, is like, it's been in these stages to make humanity come forward and govern themselves. And then we had to learn these lessons. So I just think that was a really great message, regardless of, where you think it comes from. Although I would say, again, I got the name up there. That's the Galactic GFL station on YouTube. They have other really good videos. I haven't watched them all, but they're all kind of similar, pretty high quality, just images with narration that explains a lot of things too. So I think, that had all the Q jobs, and they also do a really good job where they're not specifically saying any names. It's like this administration talking about the prior one, talking about basically Trump talking about Obama without saying it, right? Or you could say even Biden also. And then, not specifically saying the countries, which is nice because that gets other people to listen in and tune in, right? Sometimes these people or these terms get too charged up and people have beliefs about them already or confirmation bias. So I think it's a real good neutral message that explains it. And really everything we've talked about basically Gitmo talked about Gitmo without saying it. Although you could also include Diego Garcia. Not a lot of people know about the secret base Diego Garcia. Talking about being arrested too, like secret arrested. I've talked a long time back. Corey Good, who seems to be connected with some of these higher levels of our alliance, the Q team, the White Hats, whatever you want to call them, said a long time ago they found out that their personal protective detail was actually their captors. And our very own MelzieKaye got tweeted by a Secret Service agent, Quan Galt, or however they pronounce that, saying we've been behind POTUS every step of the way. And on the other side of that, they were also protecting the Obamas and stuff too. And then they found out that they were their captors. So it aligns with everything in the Q jobs and everything we've been studying. So like I said, it probably resonated with a lot of you guys out there. And hopefully that made a lot of sense. But yeah, that was kind of perfect timing, huh, Tim?
It is. This is a real special day. October 13th, just so everybody knows, get you up to speed. Today is Happy Columbus Day. It's official Columbus Day today. Okay. And for us Canadians, it's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Day for us. Yeah, we always have it early. So today we're celebrating with our families, our loved ones, and giving thanks to all the beautiful things that we've had throughout our lifetime. And one of them for me is being able to be part of the Great Awakening and get to meet and love Kyle and Melzie and so many thousands of you out there who I've met over the 5-year journey I've been on, as far as understanding who our enemy is and what the hell it is this world's been entrapped by and all that. But also on a beautiful day today where the boss, we call him Daddy was in Israel first, made a couple of speeches, met some world leaders, and then headed over to Egypt. More speeches, more leaders, more unity, more peace throughout the Middle East. And Daddy's on his way home as we speak right now. So, peace, harmony, and abundance. That clip that you played, Kyle, kind of fits in with, what we're seeing unfold before our very eyes, and seeing, all of the celebration in all the countries around the world right now, because it is a very special time to be alive. It really is. Because we're starting to see, the destruction of the old guard right before our very eyes. We're seeing the collapse of the media, the collapse of the Democrat Party, the collapse of the cabal. All the power structures are collapsing. Everything is coming down one domino at a time. And the stage is being set. And I love what this video that you played said about stages. You know,
Right.
the more stages that we land in going forward, the better our life will be, not only for us, but for our children and grandchildren. You can see how this has been set up this way. And it really is a glorious, beautiful time to be alive. So God bless you for playing that. And God bless the peacemakers, sir. I mean, wow, what a time to be alive. And hence our title today, History Books. And Colin and I will be ripping through approximately 16 history book Q drops.
Okay.
I did a little search. I did a little pre-Q school homework for you, brother. There's 16 of them that we can go through. What else? This week, expect some more indictments to come in. Rumors have it that Bolton, Adam Schiff, and there's only one Delta today, brother. And it does attach to Adam Schiff, which is really interesting.
Yes.
But there's pretty severe rumors out there that we're going to see some more indictments this week. Maybe even Fannie
Willis, Fannie Mae, or I don't know.
But some more fraud stuff. But anyway, yeah.
Adam Schiff would be a big one. I think that's even bigger than Comey, huh? Because Adam Schiff's an actual member of Congress and stuff. So maybe his isn't quite yet, but it's probably coming. What a interesting that it's on the Delta, like Tim said. Let me show one Q job too. That kind of goes to that statement too. The Galactic Federation. Again, some people have different issues with that whole term and whatnot. I see even Brad there too saying about the Ashtar guy. And just think about any of this high level stuff. It's going to have a lot of disinformation, misinformation. It's going to get muddied waters, and people insert their belief system. So it's very charged up. Again, just listen to the message. I mean, it sounded like right from the Alliance there, Tim. I mean, they basically covered the Q drops, the whole mission, the whole operation, without, again, staying very neutral with it. So regardless of what you think about certain things, just keep that in mind. But look at this drop right here. This is old. I mean, but 11/11. Oh, I just realized that's crazy. It's 11/11, Tim. 11/11, 2019. This is back when, so anybody doesn't know the history of the Q drops, by the way, they started on 4chan, originally on 4chan, October 28th, 2017. We're almost about to have our 8-year anniversary or Delta from that. October 28th,
11 days. 11 days from now.
No, we're at 13th, so it should be 15 days.
15. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
so it'll be, I guess, in 2 weeks, and then on a Tuesday, maybe on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So where was I going with this? So 4chan, and then it moved over to 8chan, and then it was on there for a while. And then it got shut down in late 2019 after this mass shooting at a Walmart in El Paso. I think it was El Paso. And then they were down for 93 days. The 8chan got shut down, not Facebook or these other places where these other messages were being sent. But 8chan got shut down because they were trying to stop the message. And then it came back online on 11/11, 2019 on 8kun. And the IP address was backed up by a Department of Defense IP address. So let me go to where that this guy lost their account. But here on QAGG.news, there's two different main places to get your Q drops. I guess, I mean, there's other ones. There's QAnon.pub. It's pretty generic. We use QAGG.news or .pub. And the other one is we do is a lot, of course, is Q Alerts. Looks like this one. And it's QAlerts.net or .pub, same thing. All right, so back over here, though, on QAG. When you're on here, these if the tweet is missing, you can click this little file folder box, and that'll take you to the Q drop. So it opens a whole new window. So I got to go over here for a second, open this one up to show you guys. Okay, here's the now deleted account got deleted, but here was the tweet that Q linked on Q drop 3585 are on. So Clark Petronov, his account's gone. Dang, so that was an IP address, not a date, because again, back in the a year or so prior, a year and probably 6 months, it was early in 2018. It said America will be unified 11.11.18. I'll show that drop next here. And then, of course, then on 11/11, Q comes back after 93 dark days, dark to light there. And 8kun comes on 11/11/2019. And there, the IP address of 8kun is 11.11.18, owned by the Department of Defense. I don't know if it still is listed under that. And this one's a little blurry. Unfortunately, this graphic comes out blurry the way it's archived. So I'm sure some other anons have a more clear screenshot of this, hopefully somewhere. But anyways, this is just showing that. And I'll go back to that. I'll go to that Q drop. Looks like, is that 1, 2, 3, 4 even? We'll do the 11.11.18 one. And then, so there it was. So that's the drop on that. And then to go to the rest of the Q post and why I brought it up, like I said. And then our own Jonathan, we haven't seen Jonathan in a while. He's pretty smart, and he's definitely in these type of topics, the galactic kind of things. And he's the one that caught this. So it says Project Looking Glass Q's asking that. How would they know, 11.11.18 that we're going to be on 8kun basically a year and a half later? and then they're down 93 days because 8chan got shut down, and then they come back on 11/11. 11/11 keeps popping up, right, Tim? You just mentioned that before we went live. Of course, we had the Putin and Trump B-2 bomber fly over at 11/11 Alaska local time. They flew directly over me. Tim happened to say the Q drop 140, which everyone's posting about now, even the Russian special envoy. We should almost just play that clip here again. But the Q drop 140. What if China, Russia, and others are working with POTUS to eliminate the NWO? And guess when that drop was on? That was on 11/11 also. So that's a major theme here. So now Q basically asked the Anons, Project Looking Glass? And then they say, going forward, in order to look back, Q. This is where Jonathan caught this one. Look at it. It's all capitals. Normally this wouldn't be capitalized. So you have GFOLB. So Galactic Federation of Light. And then we decide Brotherhood. Galactic Federation of Light. Brotherhood, perhaps. That's just a theory. And then a brotherhood just means it's like it's a collection of people. It doesn't have to be only men or anything like that. Sometimes people get caught up in the words and all these different terms. So there's that Q drop 3585 from 11/11/2019. Q came back on the 8kun with the IP address. Oh, let me show that one next to 11.11. If you want to add anything, Tim, while I'm looking for that drop.
No, just that you're bang on. And we've been seeing a lot of 11/11s, especially in the last, 2 months now? Probably a month and a half.
A ton. It's been a ton. And I'm glad you reminded me. I have so much stuff. I should have wrote them down. I should have started to send them into our folder here. But we'll see how we're divinely guided. But another friend of mine searched umbrella, and I guess Trump had the big black umbrella and stuff too. So that's probably why. But there's some really interesting drops. And they were using QAG, and on QAG, when you have that little tick mark, like if you're on QAG, if you click the digging options, I would recommend putting these both on there. Sometimes some of these things can get too distracting, but the deltas and the reply deltas just basically does the math for you. I was talking about that last week if you guys were watching the show. So they've flipped it. It used to be the main drop on the top, and then this was embedded underneath. I still wish they did it that way, but here it is. So regardless, this Anon makes this post at 15:43:12. And then Q posts at 15:44:08. Tim and I used to have to do the math in our head, but now on QAG, if you click that digging options, and it basically does the reply delta math for you. And then the post delta is the next drop though after. So I'll show that in just a second. But so as you can see here, Q responded 56 seconds later. So delta 2 reply. So Q drops 15:43:12. So then 15:44.
Another 11, by the way. Another 11.
Where's that one at? Oh, 56. Yep.
56.
Nice. Nice catch, Tim. And then, so anyways, they do the math for you. But so the Anon says, thank you, which by the way, do it this way. Thank you. In simple gematria, A is 1, B is 2, C 3. Thank you is 71. Flynn is 71. My last name, Hansen, 71. Nothing can stop what's coming. The acronym 71. That's pretty cool. Thank you. We are an existential threat to the establishment. Hashtag trusting the plan all the way back in 2018. This is April of 2018, no less. And Q responded on 1, 2, 3, 4, things lining up, said, America will be unified again, 11.11.18. Now, in November 11, 2018, nothing major happened like in the news with Q drops or anything that people, like there's no mass arrest, but there was this really interesting incident happened. There's a major Q proof. This mysterious signal got sent around the world. Nobody knew where it came from, no how it originated. It's basically like this unified field or this unified frequency, and it was repeating every 17 seconds. It went for a couple hours. I can't remember. I have the article. I wasn't thinking about doing this drop, so I might find it just to show you guys. But 11.11, this is how Q drops are quantum, how there's double, triple meanings. So on 11.11.18 or November 11th, 2018, we have this unified frequency going around the earth, and it's repeating every 17 seconds. Totally unbelievable. And then of course, then fast forward to 11/11/2019. I just showed that Q drop. This one right here, Q comes back on 11/11/2019 after being down for 93 days, and the IP address of 8kun is 11.11.18. So
you're muted. It muted you.
They muted up. It's pretty wild how they do these Q proofs, these Q drops, this quantum stuff. It just blows your mind. The more you dig into it, you know there's this plan. You know how legit this is. That's why there's a lot of people out there that know, they can feel in their heart this is legitimate. But when you dig into it, you really have that solid foundation that gives you that faith and that strength to move forward, knowing there's just nothing that can stop us.
Yeah, well said, brother. Well said. Yeah, like I said earlier, this is a beautiful time to be alive and to be involved, and to take responsibility for your future, for your children's future, your grandchildren's future, because the doorways are starting to open up right now. We're starting to see peace throughout the world. We're starting to see the cabal being taken down. Our local governments, the light shined on them, on all of the evil. We're seeing the clown show in Portland and in Chicago. And of course, we're seeing National Guard being deployed in various cities throughout the United States, which it all falls part of the plan. This is all part of the takedown, right? So, yeah, be loud, be proud. There's more of us than them, and the light of good will always outshine anything that the dark will ever try to do to us. So, good versus evil. The battle is almost over. And just hang in there, folks. Hang in there. And I'm excited about some of these drops today. And I put a couple of clips for you. You can piece them different times if you want, Kyle. But just a couple of quick 2-3 minute clips from this morning with the boss talking, to all the world leaders in Egypt. I'm not going to go into the Israel stuff. That was further on this morning, but you guys can go back and check everything that Trump did in this it's a whirlwind tour there and back, and he's on his way back. And as a matter of fact, tomorrow in the White House is when Trump is going to give the Kirk family, Charlie Kirk, the Medal of Freedom tomorrow on his, which would have been his 32nd birthday. That's happening tomorrow. So another big day tomorrow. Yeah. We'll keep an eye out for that.
Okay. So yeah, let me shout out my friend here that did the umbrella digs too. I'm trying to find. I'm definitely going to the drop here too, but their account over on Instagram here is MelzieKaye. It's she's Serbian Q Patriot right there doing awesome digital soldier work. So
Nice.
go follow them if you're on Instagram. And I don't know which one it is that had the. Oh no, it's not that one. I'm asking them which one it is. Maybe it's this one. Look at this. What's his name? Reading the Trump Heart of War. Oh, this is the real. Oh, maybe it's not the right. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. So here's Q drop 2655. How many authorized FISA umbrella surveillance warrants targeting those who illegally targeted blank are currently active? So this is in 2019. How many FISAs are currently active, right? We're digging these Q drops, so we might not catch everything in the moment. Looking back on this is really powerful because Q says FISA goes both ways, right? FISA goes both ways, and meaning we've been spying on them too, the bad guys, for a long time. Upstream collection can be very revealing. Okay, this is like when they're collecting this is your signals intelligence. When you no longer control the levers of power, do Five Eyes. The Five Eyes is America, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand, and their intelligence agencies basically share intelligence data with each other. But it's essentially a way for them to all to spy on each other, which is kind of whack. And obviously, since the cabal was everywhere, and when Trump got into office, they were trying to use that to spy on Donald Trump in different ways, and they weren't using the proper protocol, as Devin Nunes has said. Basically, there's no official paper trail as there should be for when they were surveilling these targets, because they were a covert operation. But when you no longer control the levers of power, do Five Eyes allies buckle and cooperate in order to preserve and maintain their future? You bet your ass they do, because they're in big trouble. Germany losing stranglehold on European Union. I'm not quite so sure what that reference is. I'm sure maybe my European friends would know that, understand that maybe a little bit better. I'll try to figure that one out. The future will not repeat the past. Okay, the future will not repeat the past. Tim talks about this a lot too. This is kind of like World War II never ended, right? And that was the whole plan. Was the cabal's plan was always to go to World War III. These people are these greedy psychopaths plan way in the future. So their plan all along was to have a World War III, which would be, again, the total domination of people and control. We'd be under communist control. Would be China would be the power. America would fall. China would be the new power. That was going to be under the Hillary Rotten Clinton administration. 8 years of her and all the Supreme Court would be completely hijacked. The Constitution would be basically null and void, more or less. They would go to a popular vote, so it'd be super easy to steal the elections. So it was that was the end of America, which wouldn't then be the end of the world as well, too. If America falls, the world falls, as Q says. The clock is ticking, Q. But check this out, because my friend May here is looking this umbrella term up on QAG. It does the math for you. this is Delta to next. Check this out, Tim. 55 days to the next umbrella post, 11 hours, 5 minutes, 58 seconds. So it's a double 55 around 11. It's 55 days, 11 hours, and then look at the 5 right here. 5 minutes 58. So 11 inside of 255s there too. So that was interesting. I'm going to play this video a little bit longer because there's a couple more umbrella posts. And again, a great, amazing by my friend MelzieKaye. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Her first name, I think it's pronounced May. She's Serbian. So it's just so cool how we connect with digital soldiers all over the world. Also, amazing friend from New Jersey here, Italian. I was wanting to shout them out too. She's lost so many different accounts. This is CeeLo here. This is one of her new accounts. It's CeeLo with the 2K25. So anybody on Instagram, go follow them. Appreciate all they do amazing work. Thank you to all the digital soldiers. They do video edits, just like even May. I can't do any of this kind of editing stuff. They do so good. All the videos, all the music. It's really powerful. So let me play this reel a little bit longer. I know you had something for us, Tim. I didn't mean to jump in here, but I didn't want to lose track of my thought here. So let me finish this. There's the tweet right there. The storm. I'm not sure about this. Whose Twitter this is, or X account, but there's the guy Kirill Dmitriev, the special envoy for Putin. There, the storm is coming. He's got the storm emoji there. Is coming. He just tweeted that. So, and that was at 11:20 a.m. I think that's Eastern time. Don't quote me on that. But October 2nd. Or excuse me, October 12th. So that's a 10:12. There's a 112 in there too. So maybe Law of War 11.2 we should look into also. Here's the next Q drop we got is 21:29, September 10th. That was the day Charlie Kirk got shot, wasn't it?
Dimitri had 55 likes. There's another 5.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you caught that, Tim. I almost passed that, but yeah, 55 likes. Sometimes I don't think that's an accident when like some of these tweets like catch kind of go viral or whatever, and then those numbers always are like, especially Trump will even like take a screenshot of something like that on a True Social, and all the numbers I think are relevant too. So this is a really powerful one. 21:29. There's 11:29 is another 11 in there also. So D-class of FISA will initiate the resignations and recusals and or removal of Rod Rosenstein. So it's kind of weird. He kind of just went by the wayside. I'm guessing he's probably going to come back as a big player when he gets indicted. I've said for a long time, seems pretty obvious he's an undercover white hat. I don't know how that works, if you're a dirty cop. Anyways, we'll have to see how that all plays out. But he's definitely clearly an undercover white hat or part of the team or was under our control, however you want to understand that, because it was never leaked that Huber, it was never leaked about Huber, it was never leaked about Durham, and Rod Rosenstein would have known about both of those players. But we see other stuff where Rod Rosenstein was colluding with Pence to try to get Trump removed because the bad guys thought they had Rod Rosenstein on the team. So Pence was again the snake in the weeds, but Trump knew that. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So Pence was evil all along. He knows this stuff too, with even the children. He's involved in all that crap. That Pence wanted to be president. And if that happened, if they actually did remove Trump, Rod Rosenstein was going to be the vice president. Again, I'm sure he was just baiting the deep state along, but however that works out, we'll see how that plays out. Again, Rod Rosenstein was connected with doing the Silk Road stuff. I can't remember the cop's name too, but he's involved. The other dirty cop's name was the one involved with the Seth Rich murder. He actually met the guys that murdered Seth Rich, the two MS-13 gang member assets. He met them down in South Carolina after to pay. They paid half up front. They paid the second half after, but dumb on them, they got shot instead of getting paid, and then you clear up your loose ends. But those guys worked on the back end on these back pages, those dark websites where all the human trafficking and illegal activity happens here. So D-class of FISA will initiate the awareness that all signers will be currently under investigation. Rod Rosenstein's one signer, Andrew McCabe. We did that a couple weeks ago. We looked at some of the signers. Can't remember if there was another name we saw on there. Definitely Rod Rosenstein and Andrew McCabe have signed some of these fraudulent FISAs. Okay, D-class of FISA.
That's that Q drop that it shows who signed page page. You know, there was
Right.
like 4 or
Right.
5. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We did that about 2 months. Yeah, about 2 months ago.
Has it been that long already? Oh my gosh.
I think
Okay.
so. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Where'd I go here? Declassify will factually demonstrate without argument. And even that video we showed to start the show talking about the evidence will be overwhelming. And that's going to have to be the case for Obamagate because people still worship and adore this guy. So the evidence has to be overwhelming and indisputable. And we have it all. We have it all. And we've already been declassifying that. Tulsi Gabbard, the Department of National Intelligence, has already declassified a ton of stuff that showed it went all the way to the top to Obama, which Q told us 7-8 years ago already on this stuff, if you've been paying attention. But if you're just learning now, take some notes and keep paying attention. Okay, declassifies will factually demonstrate without argument the U.S. government under Hussein, that's Barack Hussein Obama, Barry Soetoro, knowingly presented false evidence to the FISA court in an effort to obtain legal U.S. intelligence umbrella surveillance of POTUS, okay, identifying target for the sole purpose of influencing the 2016 election of the presidency. Not Russia, but Hussein and Hillary Rodham Clinton. Projection, because again, they point at, they always blame the other people. That's their projection. Blame the enemy. That's like the playbook too. You blame the enemy for what you're doing, and then people don't realize you're the one doing it. Okay. And what umbrella surveillance means when you get a FISA, I've talked about this many times. You get an illegal FISA on Carter Page. All of a sudden, you can surveil every single person Carter Page talks to, text, emails, electronically, and then so that's the first person. All those people he talks to, they surveil all those people, and same thing, everyone they talk to, tweet, email, etc. Those are called hops, and then all those people, they can go one more, then go like 3 jumps, which basically would be everyone, and that's what the umbrella surveillance means. Okay, surveillance of POTUS, and that was prior to him even winning the election. That was they were surveilling him as a candidate. We haven't got this announced publicly yet, but we kind of got a prelude to it. That they were spying on Republicans in, what was that, 2022, Tim? When was that one that just came out? When was they spying on those guys? Or was that 2020?
Yeah, whatever Grassley released, 2 weeks ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
There was 8 of them. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Was that 2 weeks ago? I thought we did that last week. Okay, we'll have to look that up. If anybody in Diggers knows, that when it was Chuck Grassley, Josh Hawley from Missouri, they were all being surveilled. Again,
Graham was in there.
Okay,
too.
so being surveilled. But Q talks about prior in 2016, not only were they spying on Trump, they were spying on Ted Cruz, among others. So that shows that they weren't spying on Trump because they thought he was a Russian asset. They were spying because they were doing illegal, nefarious shit. And then they were going to use the Russia thing as an insurance policy in the unlikely event, as Peter Strzok said, Trump becomes president. Okay, so back to the drop here. So, okay, POTUS identified a target for the sole purpose of influencing the 2016 election of the presidency. And Q says in the kill box, it wasn't Russia, not Russia, but Barack Hussein Obama and Hillary Rodham Clinton's projection, plus safeguard against possible loss of power. I just said that. So if they lost the election in the unlikely event, since they rigged the machines, they thought there was no way possible, firewalls, that's their backup, is then they would frame whoever won the presidency and get them impeached and arrested. Right, this is criminal activity at its finest. Oh, here's another back channel key drop. Ooh, I think we should do those again too, maybe today if we have time. Use of back channel surveillance and spy insertion, body 1, 2, and 5. Not sure what that is. By UK and Australia. These are our Five Eyes. Primary activated under Director Brennan, John Brennan. He's going to be indicted as well. Director James Clapper, the bald guy that lies to everybody about everything, he's going to get indicted with presidential daily briefings, regular updates. Okay, so even when you become president-elect, you get what's called a presidential daily briefing. It's basically a briefing from all the intelligence agencies of what's going on in the world and other similar things. I don't fully know the ins and outs of this completely. I can't piece it all together. But essentially, when Trump became president, they were either hiding parts of the presidential daily briefing from him because he was under surveillance and they didn't want that in his presidential daily briefing. Some weird shit. But I think that's the gist of it. But let's see here. Regular updates plus live streaming. Live streaming White House Hussein non-oval situation room coordination. So if I'm understanding this, because they did bug the Trump Tower. And you've all seen that famous shot when that scene when that we allegedly killed bin Laden, and Hillary Clinton's in there and Obama, and they're watching the raid on the compound. That's a live stream in this Oval Office or your Situation Room. So that if I'm interpreting this right, it seems like they were actually live stream watching Donald Trump in Trump Tower from their Situation Room in the non-Oval Office Situation Room. So you're in a skiff, and they're watching Donald Trump in real time, spying on him to see what he's actually doing, under the guise of he's a Russian agent, when in fact they're just criminal assholes just trying to cover their tracks. Okay, and then here's the last line: FISA, full FISA D-class, brings down the House, the White House. Q. That's a major drop. I'm going to keep going a little bit farther. I think there's a few more good little clips from this reel. I mean, it's all awesome. Again, shout out to Amazing Digital Soldier May. Hopefully she's still on here watching, and hopefully I'm pronouncing your first name right. Don't worry about China. It will all be fine. Highly respected President Xi just had a bad moment. He doesn't want depression for his country, and neither do I. The U.S. wants to help China, not hurt it. Goes back to that Q Drop 140. What if China, Russia, and others are working with POTUS? And then it's signed President DJT. Makes me think of that Q Drop 42. I'll maybe show that one so you guys know what I'm talking about. Let me actually hop over there real quick because he's been signing it this way more recently, especially. So let me just go over here. We'll do Q Drop 42. Oops. Q Drop 42. What happened? Oh, it still had that search up. One more time. There we go. Q Drop 42, way back, 11/02/2017, which looks like 11/22 right in there. We serve at the pleasure of the president, period, DJT. If they were saying they were serving under Donald Trump, it should be we serve at the pleasure of the president, comma, DJT. But this is period, DJT, as if he signs it. So that's how we see that then in this other drop here, or he's been doing this on his True Socials. The U.S. wants to help China, not hurt it. There's exclamation points on this, but that's essentially a period, and then it's President DJT. So I'm seeing a lot of commonality there, which is interesting because he's been signing that, and that just makes me go back to this Q Drop 42 where it's signed. We serve at the pleasure of the president, period, DJT, as if he signed it, DJT. He didn't. It's not talking about DJT. So that's a deeper dig for y'all out there. I love this one. Look at this one, Tim. It's Trump with that's General Pepe 17 2.0 on Instagram too. Great digital soldier. I might do it. I might not do it. I might have done it already. Nobody knows. Trump Sue. I love the Trump Sue. By the way, nobody knows equals 157. Simple gematria. So there we go. Anyways, great reel. I think I'll leave it at that. I don't know how much longer it can go. Well, let me see. Oh, there's one more. I'm glad I went. One more here. So this is another umbrella post, and I guess I should look up how many there actually are, but I'm just going off the ones that she put in here. And I'll zoom in a little bit here for us. So this is a little bit longer one. We're just going to go through this more quickly. I'm not sure the number. Maybe we'll see that. March 6th, 2019. Ooh, this one connects. This is really big. I don't want to go too full autist on this. I was thinking about starting early, but I wasn't able to get up in time. I was wore out from the long weekend of football, but it was really fun. Everything went well. Anyways, March 6th, Snowden happens on March 7th, 2017. So there's a connection there. You'll see. Facebook returning to the news. This is big, guys. And remember, all these umbrella drops are super relevant because Trump was just in a black, had the black umbrella. And he was even going up the stairs with it. It was definitely a major comm. And then I'd never searched umbrella before. So again, shout out to our digital soldier May here for doing that. These are some powerful drops. Really high level stuff too. So I'll try not to go too autist yet on this. Maybe I'll do this another day so we don't go too long on this stuff. But Facebook returning to the news, and I'm guessing again this is probably going to be happening now since Trump just gave us the umbrella signal. LifeLog, that was the original name of Facebook, but because it was created by DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Okay, it wasn't created by Zuckerberg. He's just a figurehead, right? That's how they tell their story. DARPA was LifeLog ends. Facebook begins the very same exact day. I used to know the day. I think it's April 4th. No, I'm forgetting the day. LifeLog DARPA team transfer to Facebook. So the DARPA, actual military DARPA people moved over to Facebook when it became private company, and we're actually working over there. Imagine that. What DARPA team members, this is for our diggers here too. We might have to just do a whole dig on some of these jobs, go full autist. I don't know if people will be able to do this while we're on the live show here right now, but what DARPA team members, past and present, work for Facebook? And actually the Anons have done these digs too. So if people have good archives where all these digs are at, there was this spreadsheet that had all the answers, but it's like it got removed by Google or something. So I don't know where to find that stuff. What divisions? I'm not sure what that means. I guess divisions within Facebook. I'm not sure. Locate 3 public, 9 total, 6 non-public. Building 8 exposed. Okay, building 8. I'm not even gonna go on these decodes. That's too. There's the deep thing. Look into building 8. Okay, here when 4/11/2018, think scramble offline scrub post Xbox and PlayStation chat logs drop. Okay, so Q showed us that they were communicating on Xbox and PlayStation chat logs in these video games because they're trying to avoid data collection. They're trying to avoid signals intelligence. They thought they could outsmart the NSA and our no such agency by communicating in Xbox play games, PlayStation stuff. They also did what's called Google Gmail drafts. They would all have the same. They'd have the same login for a Gmail. I'd start typing up an email, but I wouldn't send it. So it'd be in my drafts, and then somebody else would log in across the world, and then they would see the draft. But we have what's called a keystroke thing. So once you start typing the keystrokes in, even if you don't send it, the NSA and our real no such agency also can see all that information. So we've had them with their pants down for a while. And then after Q dropped the Xbox comms and the PlayStation ones in a Q drop, the very same day, later that day, Xbox goes down. Like in Microsoft, okay, Microsoft too. Microsoft shut down immediately post drop because Microsoft owns Xbox. Okay, Building 8 news release, restructuring Building 8 release, 12/14/2018, rest in peace or RIP. Article TechCrunch Facebook restructures Building 8, separating projects into reality, labs, and portal groups. Q now says RIP equals false. Reorganization equals true. So they must have said it ended, but of course it didn't end. That's how the military does things. They'll decommission a MK Ultra, but then they start it up under a different name is all they really do. China. This is big, guys, too. This is all spy operation stuff that most people have no idea about how close we were to being dominated. China's been spying on America and trying to put its tentacles around our neck for a long time. Okay, China. Open access, pay for play. That's Hillary Clinton's pay for play. She didn't get her server hacked. She granted access to China. She's a piece of S. Okay, laws will prevent CIA operations, laws which prevent CIA operations inside the homeland. Okay, the CIA cannot operate inside the United States, just like how our military has measures that doesn't allow them to be on American soil unless special conditions are met, which we are seeing when the cities are being invaded. There's crime, and the police commissioners, police chiefs aren't obeying the law. Our military can be on civilian, but CIA cannot operate domestically. That's why they basically have a incestuous sister-brother relationship with the FBI. The FBI is like the domestic spy agency for the CIA. But this is also the other thing right here, bulk data collection, NSA on the homeland. This is what Snowden exposed. Snowden came forward when he found out that we had more surveillance on American citizens than we were surveilling on China and Russia. We were spying on more American citizens than we were spying on people in freaking China and Russia. So that had to be exposed. And then the bulk data, this is going to be also talking about Five Eyes again, okay? Bulk data collection, CIA homeland. How does the CIA avoid law trigger regarding umbrella spying on the homeland? And that would probably be by using Five Eyes. Oh, or Facebook, okay? China Building 8. So China's connected. So basically China was trying to spy on us through Facebook. Okay, Google's also in there. I might have to just find the rest of that drop since it's cut off here a little bit. But that's a powerful drop. Maybe she... All right, I gotta mute the angry music. I'm sure it might be Serbian. Shout out to you if that's your music, but I gotta pause the angry music so I can think here. Facebook, okay, China Building 8. Google, China Dragonfly. That must be a project name. Not familiar with what that is. Everybody wants to dig on that. Twitter, U.S. leg tracking. Not sure what all that is. Facebook track user GPS, voice and text. You guys didn't even know this was allowed. If anybody got the Facebook app using Facebook, they could track your GPS and your voice and your text, all your text messages without your knowledge at all times. Google, same shit, tracking your GPS, your voice, and text. You talking with people regularly, they were spying on you privately, right? This is total violation of privacy. Twitter tracking your use your GPS. That's also why they hacked Trump's Twitter, and they thought they were tracking him when they fired a nuclear warhead at Air Force One to put us into World War III, since Trump wasn't going to do that. Okay, we got that all on. We got it all on camera. We got everything. Phone, I'm guessing iPad, microphone, algorithm embedded, all for marketing purposes as publicly disclosed. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Not for marketing, for spying on people. Okay. Who has access to bulk track data? I would assume NSA, and of course our real no such agency. Who has access to bulk data? Same. If NSA has ability to absorb data stream, I always never know what this UT is. If anybody has any theories on this, I feel like I've never gotten a good answer on this. If NSA has ability to absorb data stream UT maybe it's up temporo. That's like Snowden talks about that. In-house tools. Does CIA have ability to collect data stream from funded network? That would be Facebook. Facebook is the CIA's black budget funded network and how they spy on American citizens. Okay, offshoots, big tech. So any other similars of like Facebook, okay? Offshoots, unless they're just saying that the big tech is their offshoots, right? Their private spy agencies is Facebook and whatnot. Okay, offshoots necessary to avoid CIA breach of U.S. domestic law. So as if it's not still a breach just because they're using it through the Facebook. Okay, this one's interesting. Amazon server and cloud contract. Okay, what's his name? Jeff Bezos, right? Jeff Bezos, who owns the is it Washington Post, also had a $600 million contract through Amazon with the CIA for their cloud data. Right. So guess what? I'm sure any of your Amazon shit is all the same thing, to spy on them. But think about what even I say Jay Rosemary said in Executive Order 13818. We're hitting with you a lot of stuff right now. Don't get overwhelmed if your head's spinning. Just absorb some of this and just listen. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. Executive Order 13818, blocking the property of people involved with human rights abuse or corruption. Okay, so Amazon, if they're involved, we own Amazon. Supposedly, our old Secretary of Treasury, Steve Mnuchin, is your true owner of Amazon. So we got all kinds of wealth coming back to us, sounds like. We'll see what happens. We'll cross our fingers and hang on tight to that. Okay, Amazon server cloud contract. This was with the CIA I was just mentioning. Amazon server cloud route data 1-99 domestic. Q's always said 1-99 is highest classification. We just got to go with their answer on that one because we don't have anything else. Okay, but basically, yeah, they're getting the highest classification of information domestically that they normally shouldn't have access to, these CI assholes. Okay, CI asshole tasked with gathering and analyzing information on foreign governments and individuals. Signals intelligence, okay, that's what we're talking about. You're capturing intelligence through data, your electronic communication. COV, interesting. I'm not sure what that is, but it does make me think of COVID for sure. Okay, NSA tasked with gathering and analyzing info on a global scale, including domestic, ? Obviously. Signals intelligence, or maybe cover, I don't know. What former U.S. president was CIA director? That's George Herbert Walker Bush. Saved the CIA, my ass, okay? And he wasn't even the director very long, but once you're the director, you basically have that security clearance and he probably has access to it all the time. Then lo and behold, he becomes president of the United States. And he only won one term, but then Bill Clinton came in there. It was all part of this cabal's plan. And again, they're out two wings of the same bird, if you want all that shit. And it's also, they're still service to self entities. So they're all going to kind of climb on top of each other to the top, and then they'll align with each other when it benefits them. Okay. Think CIA John Brennan, authorizing spy campaign of U.S. senators under Barack Hussein Obama. Think CIA install campaign, U.S. House and Senate infiltration, part 1 of 9Q. We've never had the other parts, I don't think. So also makes me think there's going to be more Q jobs coming. Well, Tim and I know that. They're going to be coming again in the future. But Q talks about that. What former CIA agents are in Congress? So House and Senate. So Adam Schiff is going to be one of them. He's a CIA and Mossad asset. So we're going to get all that information, see if there's anything else here. Some digital solar stuff. great reel there. So I'm going to stop showing that. Thank you, May, again, for your amazing work. Hopefully she's still watching over on, looks like she is, both Space Force and God. Amen to that. Okay, thank you, guys. I'm going to take a pause for a second. Can you hear me okay? You back, Timbo?
Yeah, I'm back. I had to go sneak a piece of pumpkin pie. It is
Thanksgiving. Nice. Thanksgiving. Yes, absolutely. And thanks for telling us what you're thankful for.
Yes.
We're going full Otis. I wanted to share. I was just last night. I've been in the fields lots this last week. It sounds like a lot of other people are. We're all going through different things, shedding different things. And I was just so thankful for you and Melzie and Melzie, like specifically for we've been through so much together. I was just crying. I was so happy how amazing she's doing, her healing, and myself, and then to have us back too, Tim. It was really, I was just, man, and I was like, am I gonna do this on the show tomorrow? I'm gonna be like crying, like telling how much I love these guys. So I love you guys so much. I'm so thankful for you both, MelzieKaye. Little update though on MelzieKaye. Her pooch unfortunately is not doing very well. So please, more prayers. Let's all please more prayers for her dog Dozer. She's got to take him into the vet, so he's having some more issues, and I don't know what's going on, but that's our family and stuff too. So please, prayers are greatly appreciated. For that kind of stuff. So,
amen.
Yeah, we'll bet that. Okay, so Tim, I know you had a dig for us, or where you wanted us to go on some Q drops or something.
Yeah, well, we at any time we can go into the history books Q drops. There's 16 of them, and then I just put a couple of like 2-3 minute clips from the boss speaking to all the world leaders in case anybody here missed it this morning. Real America's Voice was covering the whole thing from early this morning right up until almost Q school time, and of course Trump is now on his way back home. So he'll probably say a few things to the reporters when he lands, whatever time. I'll keep an eye on that if anything live comes up during our show. But if you want to play a 1 or 2 or 3 of those clips, they're on the bottom of Diggers. Okay. And Mel's also, before she had to leave with those, or left you the General Flynn clip too.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Have you watched it?
No, I haven't watched it at all. And then above that, just to get you fired up, and just to show, some more shenanigans of the left, the enemy within, they have a poster, and they're this coming Saturday, they're having one of those No Kings movements throughout the United
States. The retards are at it again, huh? Is that this one right here?
Yeah. So I want you to read that point for point and just show how idiotic this whole thing is and how it's just crazy.
All right. So Bill Crystal, probably another one of these TDS libtards, a notice from @of the Brave USA. Isn't that funny? All the terms they use to, like of the brave or the resistance, but they go along with all the pedophiles in Hollywood and all the other mainstream media outlets, but they're the resistance. You got to love that stuff, right? Okay. Anyways, I digress. Will run in newspapers across the nation. Okay, home of the brave, paid advertisement. On October 18th, we will peacefully protest our false king, the one following the Constitution, by the way. He has declared war on our Constitution, our rule of law. Again, these people are whack. Okay, remember during COVID, these same people wanted you to show your papers or said you wouldn't be allowed in the hospital if you didn't take your experimental injection with no informed consent. But tell me about the Constitution, what you don't know. Article 4, Section 4, you must defend your borders. I guess Biden opened that wide open. But tell me about democracy. Tell me about the Constitution. Tell me how much you don't know about the Constitution. By the way, Trump falling to the T. If there's any discrepancy, that's called checks and balances. That's why these lawsuits happen. And guess what? He wins every single time. Every single time, because he's following the law. So don't let these clowns even say that shit. Put it right back in their face. Let them know what time it is. Tell me where he's violating the Constitution. You give me a specific example. He has declared war on our Constitution. Again, projection, right, Tim? Think mirror with these freaking clowns. Our rule of law, Letitia James and all them that said nobody's above the law. All right. And our federal courts, by the way, this is all going to get wrapped up because the Supreme Court's going to rule on all these rogue freaking judges doing bullshit saying, nah, you can't do that. He has sought absolute unchecked power. No, he always welcomes these lawsuits, and then he goes forward and wins those lawsuits because he's following the law. He has proclaimed the free press to be the enemy of people. That definitely ain't free when that's 97% of their articles are negative to Donald Trump when he's bringing peace around the earth. That's definitely not a free press. when they're colluding with the Democratic Party, which we've seen that in the Q drops, hundreds of them, that's not a free press. They are the enemy of the people. Okay? He has invented false emergencies to seize powers that he does not have. Again, excuse me, Article 4, Section 4, an invasion of the border is not a false emergency. But these effers, and their false flags, I digress. You got the idea. I'm going to try to tone it down for the rest of this one. We'll see what happens. He has unleashed the military in our cities without our consent. Well, when the police commissioners and the police chiefs do not follow the law, you don't need your consent anymore. The commander-in-chief has the consent of the American people due to the Constitution. He has sent masked and unidentified men to abduct us. No, they're following the law again, and they got to protect their identity because the retards are violent and delusional, and they're loose cannons. He has undermined vaccines. He says they'll get the damn thing. Allegedly took another one. He's undermined vaccines and dismantled the agencies that protect us from plagues, putting American lives at risk. Obviously, nobody protected us during this alleged plague. I said I was going to just let it be. Okay, I believe it. He has abused the power of the presidency to attack and prosecute his political opponents as if they didn't do that to him. His actually are by the law. That's why all these assholes are going down. Comey, John Brennan, Clapper, Schiff, Letitia James already done. Y'all going down, you cocksuckers. He has attempted to stifle our speech. That's hilarious. And silence our dissent, even though they removed him off of Twitter and all of us. He has exploited his office to enrich himself, his family, and his friends. He's literally lost his net worth. He takes no money. The president of the United States gets like $400,000 a year. And then even afterwards, you get money for the rest of your life being the president. He has taken no paycheck, even in his first administration. And I always say this too, like I guess I always say it in my head. I haven't said it publicly, but if people think he's evil, these evil people do stuff like this. They will always benefit themselves. They don't give an F. If he was truly evil, he would take that extra $400,000 and he would just spin it off on like, He's not taking that $400,000 each year. That's $1.6 million in the first administration he turned down. So this is now $2 million he's refused just to serve the American public. And again, and even like Elon Musk has lost billions of dollars since he started helping Trump. Trump is the only president whose net worth went down after becoming president. Everyone else benefited greatly. It's just the dumbest shit you could ever imagine. So again, projection at its finest. And I hope y'all can, maybe I'll read this, or maybe I'll make another recording so y'all can send your friends and family there. Even put this flyer up. Just boop, put it in my little video right there. Let them know how retarded they are.
Yeah, I knew you'd love this poster. That's why I jammed it into Q School today, because it's all projection. I mean, that's how. That's how indoctrination works, folks. I mean, a lot of these people that are, against us and against the country and against the Constitution, they were taught to use projection. They were taught to lie. They were taught to steal. And it's unfortunate, but that's the school systems. That's one thing that has to be cleansed out. This indoctrination stuff that's been going on with this young generation. And, I spent a little bit of time on the weekend just watching some of the shenanigans in Portland and Chicago. And it's like, I'm just shaking my head going, oh my God, where are these guys and gals, where are they getting this education from, right? Obviously it's from the indoctrination camps, which we call schools and colleges and universities, unfortunately. And that's what they are. And there's been a lot of professors that have been taken down and taken out of play because of what happened since the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They vocally, applauded that. I mean, this is how sick these people are. So I'm glad you got fired up on that one, brother. And just to show our brothers and sisters how idiotic their way of thinking is. And I'm glad you brought up Trump. Donates all of his salary to well-known charities.
He donates to him. That's beautiful. Okay.
He donates all that presidential money to various charities throughout the United States. In most cases involving children and things like that. We can probably get a list of that if we do a little bit of digging, and maybe we can bring the sauce as far as the actual donations are concerned and whatnot. That way people know who he's donated to, and the reason.
That's weird. I've never heard the mainstream media mention that. I didn't know it actually happened.
Oh no, they'll never tell you that.
Oh,
That's
you
why
mean they're not gonna? You mean they're not a free press? So they're
no, they're
gonna
not.
actually slant everything. Okay, just
That's
making
why
sure.
we're the news now, brother. All
We
of
are
us.
the news
We are
now.
the
And
news.
shout out to We Are the News on X. They always reposting us. I think they're from Canada. We Are the News. If you're still watching, thank you guys on X account. Yeah. Okay.
I just
So
want to show my address too. I know I showed you that before school, but there's
yeah,
my little
11.
address. Deco.
You got the 11 block on there. Yes.
You can't make this up, guys.
I
I've
know
been
it.
here for. I was here before the Great Awakening, actually. Yeah, I was here in
Wow.
2019, brother.
You know where I lived in Alaska when we did that article too, and I didn't want to disclose at the time. It was the address. The last two digits were 11, and then it was on 11th Street, so it was 1111, and then the address, the four digits added up to 17. Now
Wow.
my address it matches with the Q drop that's signed by the White Hats. Can't make it up, man. Can't make it up.
You can't. You can't. Yep.
Right on. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in diggers. Looks like this clip on Flynn's not too long, so I'll
I
play
think
this.
week 11 is going to be fun. I think we're going to have a lot of fun this week.
Oh,
I
it's
think
a
we're
week
gonna-
11 right now, huh? Oh, I missed that part. Okay, holy cow! I did say
Yep.
that at the beginning, but then it didn't.
Well, for
register.
our daytime
Right,
shows.
the daytime, of course, right? Yeah, 1100 for the for the.
Yeah, no
We've been
kidding.
at it for a minute. Okay, so let's see some of these clips we got over on Diggers. All right, let's do this General Flynn one on Alex Jones. I think. Oh yeah, this was November 24th, 2021.
My attention because the emergency broadcast system in this country is where they could shut everything down, everything, and now the government is going to tell you what you need to know. And they do that for a nuclear strike, right? If we're going to have a nuclear strike, or if we're under some sort of military threat.
Over the internet.
Yeah, oh no, they can take the entire thing. I mean, the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, works for the federal government, and the FCC
Send you all to one website.
everything. I mean, everything. You'll have not. That's why ham radio operators of old used to be the ones that could defeat any kind of communications shutdown. So I do think that we could potentially experience that. These.
Ham radio, that's mentioned in the Q jobs too. Nellie Orr, Bruce Orr's wife, was a ham radio operator. She's part of the CIA as well. Okay, so thank you, Mel. Shout out. She's had to go to the vet. Hopefully she gets a chance to watch later. We love you, girl. Hopefully Dozer's doing well. Flynn talking about the EBS there. Melzie shared that with us. And then we want to go into these little short clips now. Tim, I was going to call you Trump again. Okay.
Let's listen to the boss.
Here we go.
So nice. Please.
Thank you very much, my dear President Trump, my dear brother President Fath el-Sisi of Egypt, Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good evening. Well, I would say today is one of the greatest days in contemporary history because peace has been achieved.
History books,
after
baby.
Untiring efforts.
Tell him, Tim.
Efforts led by President Trump, who is genuinely a man of peace, who has relentlessly and untiringly worked throughout these months, day in and day out.
Blessed are the
to make this
peacemakers.
world a place to live with peace and prosperity. I would say that Pakistan had nominated President Donald Trump for Nobel Peace Prize for his outstanding, extraordinary contributions to first stop war between India and Pakistan and then achieve ceasefire along with his very wonderful team. And today, again, I would like to nominate this great president for Nobel Peace Prize because I genuinely feel that he is the most genuine and most wonderful candidate for Peace Prize because he has brought not only peace in South Asia, saved millions of people, their lives. And today, here in Sharm el-Sheikh, achieving peace in Gaza is saving millions of lives in the Middle East. Mr. President, I would like to salute you for your exemplary leadership, visionary leadership. And I think that you are the man this world needed most at this point in time. World would always remember you as a man who did everything, went out of the way to stop 7 and today 8 wars. I would like to thank my very dear brother, Sheikh Tamim. He's Akh al-Shakik, who has really worked very hard.
Did he say shake the meme, add-ons, bring the memes, drop the bombs, fire up, Will, tension on deck. Let's go one more. Which, by the way, I'm catching up on all this. Is this the one? I think, is this today? So Israel and Hamas didn't attend this. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, and some people talk about Hamas being made by Israel too, but we'll leave that as it is here. So
Yeah, this is in Egypt, Kyle. This is just before he jumped on Air Force One and started coming home.
okay, thank you.
All the world leaders are there. Yeah.
Dang, that's powerful, man. President of peace. And yet they're still going to have a parade against the false king that's bringing peace to earth. Think about how retarded that is, the timing. You ain't believe the plan's in place. You're not paying attention.
This is history books right here.
Amen.
East 2025.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, boss. Thanks for all your hard work.
That's right. Get him, Daddy. Big Daddy's in the house. And we want to do this Bannon one now too?
Yeah. So that so this one was earlier this morning. So yeah, definitely play that. Bannon did a good job this morning covering all this live. Yeah.
Okay. And General Apex, another person on Instagram. He's over on Rumble too. He's double tasking there. Are you working too? You're working with the Anons. He's doing some great digs. He did some digs already on Instagram. I'll share that right after this about some of the places Trump has donated his salary to already. So y'all doing some great work out there. Thank you guys for all the work you do.
Perfect.
So let's do this Bannon video for a couple minutes and we'll be right back.
Right. I think we got a possibility, so we just got to work on him. Jack Posobiec, your thoughts on this?
No, I'm working on it, but I hear the 3-in-1, and first of all, the war room, is not a democracy. I don't think that's ever come up before. But and then Catholics, Catholics, that's democracy. That's a Protestant thing. Catholics we're the altar and throne types, and so a lot. You go to this part of the world, and you see a lot of lineup as President Trump is there meeting with sheikhs and emirs and kings.
Well,
and
there's Erdogan. There's Erdogan.
And there he is meeting
right
with the Caliph right there.
The Turks.
And now he's meeting with the Caliph.
The Caliphate.
Right?
That's the Ottoman Empire. So Lawrence of Arabia got the Arabs together, united the Arabs, so that the British and General Allenby. Yeah, no, I'm saying they can actually take down the Ottoman Empire and break the Ottoman Empires. I think the Ottoman Empire ruled Jerusalem for 1,000 years. This is why Allenby, who was going to Damascus, he stopped and freed Jerusalem en route. You're going to have Turkish troops. I want so when the Israel First crowd is today trying to spin this, just tell them, hey, what about Erdogan he's going to be the head security force. Let me play, if we can play it. And by the way, we're skipping the last break because I want to stick there with President Trump, seeing all the leaders of the Middle East and throughout some of the leaders in Europe. Also, Macron's there, Sir. Can we go ahead and play? I want to play for Jack Posobiec, the shot across the bow. Now, I will say, as the head of the Trump 2028 movement, this didn't make me feel great when he went after one of his biggest donors. Let's go ahead and play it.
But I actually asked her, I'm going to get her in trouble with this, but I actually asked her once, I said, so Miriam, I know you love Israel. What do you love more, the United States or Israel? She refused to answer. That might mean Israel, I must say.
Some nervous laughter there. Jack Posobiec, your takeaway on that one.
Look, President Trump is his own man. There's no question here, and he obviously talks to everyone. He talks to everyone on all sides. He's close with many people who are very concerned about the safety and well-being of Israel. Obviously, he himself has made it a key aspect of his presidency, both the first term and the second term. But at the end of the day, President Trump is and remains America first. He will always put America first, and he will act in what he believes is America's interests right up until the line where he said, this is it. This is the line with which America is willing to support these operations and support the situation. And he said it himself. He said it himself, didn't he, when he was there in the well of the Knesset and said, you have won all that you can by force. Now is the time for peace and prosperity. So he is the one who draws the line that American interests have ended at this point. Now is the time to cut the deal, bring the hostages back, and go with it, and via con Dios, go with God from there. And so, as we were saying on the earlier show, Steve, if there were a situation where it looked as though further offensive operations were taking place, and I don't necessarily see that happening, but speaking hypothetically, that out of the IDF, that it seems the United States would not be there to support them.
There's two things I want to point out here, Jack, and Ben and Dave. The guy's been rolling on this thing since yesterday afternoon, and look, just even doing these meet and greets is an energy suck. Look how, I mean, this guy's like, he looks like a guy 30 years old. He's clearly jacked up for the moment, but just the ability to do everything he did today, from meeting with the hostage parents, the families, and listening to their horrible stories they had for the 2 years and some of them obviously didn't make it back, to the speech and sitting through, quite frankly, the opposition leader, Bibi, the Speaker of the House. I think they had an hour's worth of speeches. He just sat there and listened to the whole thing. The energy, he's now there. Look at the president still. And hey, do you think when Bush was president or Obama was president, that Ben Harnwell is your favorite, Giorgia Meloni of Italy? They want some of that redevelopment business in Gaza. I don't even want to go there. I can't even go there. But she wants a photograph with him because everybody wants a photograph of him. When's the last time he had a president of the United States that everybody, you think they want it with Biden, you would be incorrect. You think they want it with Obama, you would be incorrect. You think they want it with Bush? No. In fact, they're saying they don't even want Tony Blair as the executive director because of his role in the Iraq war. We got.
All right. There's a little clip from there. Thank you for that. Okay, so we're at the bottom. You got my Tim back. Get the back there, brother. All right. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Just watching the Boston action there and all the world leaders, want their picture with them and stuff. I mean, the power behind this, the capitulation, it's all capitulation. I mean, this is the world coming together, unifying, and there will, in our futures and our children, especially in our grandchildren's futures, be peace, harmony, and abundance based on everything that we're seeing unfold before our very eyes, aka history books are being made right now. It's an incredible time. Incredible.
Amen to that for sure. Absolutely. All right. So any direction you want to go? I guess we haven't done any history book drops.
Yeah, check out a few of those, and then we had a patriot that was digging on Trump's salary.
Oh, yeah.
What did he come
thank you. Thanks for reminding me on that one. So General Apex over here. I'll go back to
right
Instagram.
On, General.
He might have dropped them on the Rumble also, so I haven't been able to check those comments here. So he always likes when I get fired up too, so I appreciate it. This is right, Kyle. Get fired up. That's well deserved. They tried to remove him from the Colorado ballot. It doesn't get crazier than that, too, talking about silencing free speech and subverting the Constitution. So that is another great reminder for everyone that actually tried to remove him off the ballot. For what? Oh, we just don't like him. We can't beat him, so let's subvert democracy, these clowns. Okay. Why is it not scroll here? Let's see. Okay. So department, here we go. I think this is initiative. I don't know if these are his donations. Maybe it looks like, I guess, 100,000. Yeah, quarter one. Department of Transportation, quarter 3, 2017, $100,000 for infrastructure initiatives. Small Business Administration, quarter 4, 100,000 to support small business programs. Okay, Department of Veterans Affairs taking his own salary and giving it to veterans, but the fake news media, which is the enemy of the people, the real enemy of the people, always think mirror. They say he hates veterans or he hates the military. It's the most absurd thing you could ever see and say. They just make up stories and then they stay with their bullshit narrative to make it sound like that's the truth, but it's statements, not facts. Statements, not facts. Okay, $100,000 for veterans health and support programs. This is in 2018 now. Department of Homeland Security, second quarter, 100,000, specific use not detailed. Probably something important. Department of Homeland. Okay. Apex been awake a long time. 2005. Amen, brother. Surgeon General's Office. Why is it not? Let me go like that. Okay. Surgeon General's Office. HHS. So that was prior to RFK Jr.'s HHS. This is 2018. $100,000 for public health initiatives for the person that allegedly doesn't care about our public health. Department of Agriculture, that's your farmers and whatnot, $100,000 for agriculture research and support. Okay, he just did a huge dig on that. Let me know when you have that dig there, General, or wherever you post them at also. Let's see what else we got. Department of Health, now we're in 2019. HHS, again, Health and Human Services, $100,000 in the first quarter for coronavirus response efforts. And that's in 2019? Is that what it was actually called?
Oh, wow.
Oh, baby. Now I got to find out more about that. I'm guessing he's got the right year here. Department of Education. How about that? He gave $100,000 of his own money to the Department of Education. But the retards say he's trying to end Department of Education, which he is because it's terrible. But there he was donating his money for STEM or education programs. Exact use not specified, probably because we're cleaning the swamp up. More to the Department of Health and Human Services. In 2019, the fourth quarter, we had $100,000 for ongoing public health efforts going into COVID. How about that? Various HHS programs, 2020 full year promised, but not publicly detailed. Quarterly, no tax deduction, no tax deduction claimed. So he didn't even take a tax deduction, even though he donated his freaking salary. Unbelievable. White House Historical Association. White House renovations and beautification. So that's like the big, beautiful ballroom I think we're going to have too. So there's me again. God bless all patriots, President Trump, and the greatest military. Amen to that, which is, it's a worldwide. Okay, let's see what else we got. Amazing video. Thank you for all that. Okay, so thank you there. General Apex again on Instagram, General_Apex17. He's also over on Rumble too in the chat too. So make sure I'll shout him out over there. Tell him thank you for all the digs and tell him White Hat said he's doing a great job. Hopefully he's listening still. Okay, so let's see what else we got.
Nice digs, brother. Thank you, General.
I'm going to jump over to X. Some people had some good digs here because, Scavino. Okay, Scavino here. So I see what you did there. Scavino had a drop. Let's see here. So the first one, Dan Scavino, this is early in the morning. First thing today. So this is, I believe this is the correct Eastern time, 12:43 or 00:43 minutes Eastern time into October 3rd. Okay, Columbus Day.
Oh, October 13th.
That's sorry. Thank you. I don't know why I keep saying that. Thank you, though. Nice catch. Oh, look at that. 107.2 thousand views. October 13th. Dan Scavino says, I just walked around Air Force One. Let me make this. And then let's get us back on the screen while we're doing these. That's a little too small. Let's do this one. Okay. So I just walked around Air Force One, and there's a palpable sense of pride knowing that the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, is about to make history. History books. Nice timing. The experts, quote unquote experts, said it couldn't be done. The haters said Trump would start World War III, but Make America Great MAGA knew all along that if anyone could pull this off, it would be DJT. There's the peace bird of love. I actually want to go to Gematria just for a second. We're going to go with Gematria. Oops. Go over here for a second because I didn't know this one before, but I saw somebody do it in the dig on the X there. The experts, I always joke about too, the experts don't know anything. The experts, oh, okay, it wasn't, maybe it's just experts. Oh, yeah, it would be experts. Experts is 107. Experts is 107. So look at the Q job. Experts is in parentheses. Experts, and then also it was 107,000 views. Experts is 107 in simple gematria. So interesting little connection there.
What's haters? He's got haters. And
okay, yeah, let's do haters. Yeah, good catch, Tim. I didn't think. Let's do haters. Make sure I'm on this tab. Haters. 71, 17 years.
You're muted. You're muted. You're muted, Red.
What the shit? You got me now?
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. Haters. So that's funny. I just mentioned some of the other beautiful ones for 71. We got Think Q 71. We got Flynn, our man Flynn 71. My last name Hanson 71. Shout out to Dad. And Nothing Can Stop What Is Coming 71. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, we getting down to a nice one, Tim. Haters 71. Haters.
Wow,
71.
perfect. The general just posted in chat, said, you should play my latest reel on Instagram with the Trump talks. It goes into Nellie Orr and all of the FISA stuff.
Okay, I should be able to find that. I should be able to find that one. Thank you, Tim, for catching that comment. And thank you, General. Okay, so here's the first drop Scavino did. It was at 43 minutes into October 13th. Okay. And again, did we ever double check that? I think October 13th was the bloody or the original Friday the 13th. I don't know all the details on that, but I think pretty sure it was October 13th. Anyways, going to do this one. And here's another one. Here comes the sun. What a beautiful shot. Air Force One catching the first sun rays wherever they were flying to and from. Look at that.
Well, they would have been heading if this was this morning, they were heading to Israel because they went to Israel first. Then from Israel, they went to Egypt. And then from Egypt, he's coming home.
Wow, what a day. Hardest working man, huh? So this one, here comes the sun, was what Scavino said. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. We should look at those lyrics too, actually. And then it was 53 minutes past the hour. So now this Anon does his digs.
So 10 minutes later. So
yes, and I think he does that. I think he does that dig too. So 34. Why did he get to 34? Oh, let's look at it right here. Okay. I see what you did there. Why does the Zoom do this? It's so strange. Okay. I see what you did there. 1243 or 0043. And then the meter of that is 34. And then 53 minutes past the hour. 53. And the meter of that is 35. So he has Q drops 34 and 35 on here. So I'm going to go ahead and read those. So Q drop 34, November 1st, 2017. First time we see this term, Q clearance patriot. Okay. The first few drops were all just kind of like paragraph form. They might end with Alice in Wonderland, things like that, but there's no Q signature until Q drop 61. Q clearance patriot. My fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refuge of shining light. On POTUS's order, we have initiated certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary fallout, which is slated to occur 11.3 upon the arrest announcement of Mr. Podesta, actionable 11.4. Confirmation to the public of what is occurring will then be revealed and will not be openly accepted. I talk about this all the time. Some people won't even believe it. Public riots are being organized in serious numbers in an effort to prevent the arrest and capture of more senior public officials. On POTUS's order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition and special operator necessity. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere within the country will unfortunately be divided as so many have fallen for the corrupt and evil narrative that has long been broadcast. We will be initiating the emergency broadcast system, which is normally EBS. EMS is the emergency management system or the emergency, I can't remember. I think it's management for some reason. During this time, in an effort to provide a direct message, avoiding the fake news, if you got to watch our intro video, to all citizens. organizations, and or people that wish to do us harm during this time will be met with swift fury. Certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide our great military the necessary authority to handle and conduct these operations at home and abroad. Okay, that was Q drop 34. He's also got 35 next in here, I'm pretty sure. Again, we took the mirror of the timestamps. Here's Q drop 35, November 1st, also 2017. POTUS will be well insulated and protected on Air Force One. And this is from Dan Scavino's timestamp on Air Force One and abroad. Specific locations classified. While these operations are conducted due to nature of the entrenchment, it is time to take back our country and make America great again. Let us salute and pray for the brave men and women in uniform who will undertake this assignment to bring forth peace, unity, and return power to the people. Wow.
Sounds pretty relevant to what's happening today. Just
Sounds
saying.
pretty effing relevant to me, sir. Nice one. It is our hope that this message reaches enough people to make a meaningful impact. We're part of the largest army in the history of the world, friends. We're all in this together, man. I think the message reached enough people, certainly, but let's get more. We're getting more. Every day we're getting more. It is our hope this message reaches enough people to make a meaningful impact. We cannot yet telegraph this message through normal methods for reasons I'm sure everyone here can understand. Follow the questions from the previous threads and remain calm. The primary targets are within DC and remain at the top on both sides. The spillover in the streets will be quickly shut down. Look for more false flags. Stay alert. Be vigilant. And above all, please pray. For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Love is patient. Love is kind. God bless my fellow Americans. 4-10-20. Which is who, Tim?
That would be DJT. That's simple gematria. DJT.
Simple gematria. And what's 4 plus 10 plus 20 add up to?
That would be 34.
34, Q Clarence Patriot, or 17 plus 17. Could that be Q plus then? Also Q plus. So another one. Shout out to all that as well. Great job, guys. Awesome. And since we just ended with that little prayer, let's go to our Secretary of War. For a second, I got something up here. I know it's right around the corner. Where did it go?
Love the Pepes.
I know, right? I should have shown some. Here's another spiritual Street Fighter amazing post. Trust the plan. Q plus at the Capitol building. Beautiful imagery they've had, and they've been reposted so many times by the boss. There's our AAN on. Where's the secretary? Did I miss it? It's got to be coming right here.
This is on your. This is your.
Yeah, I was doing. Yeah, these are all the posts I liked. I thought I saved them because there was some really. But then I also liked a bunch of other people's comments and then followed them. Just keep growing the following here. But here's IL Donald L Trumpo, which is the boss's troll account, which he's also verified. Somebody asked him, "Are you Poppy Trumpo?" And he said, "Yeah." So here's Poppy Trumpo, but here's the Secretary of War. This great little
standing tradition in our military. It's interesting. The question is, I've gotten some criticism for hosting a Christian prayer service at the Pentagon yesterday. We said it very publicly. We said it very proudly. Appealing to heaven, to God, is a long-standing tradition in our military. I'm very proud that we're starting a monthly voluntary service at the Pentagon. George Washington was on bended knee with the troops, praying for God's providence and protection in that moment. Chaplains and ministers and Christians and people of faith across generations have prayed because of the business that we're in. In the business of the 82nd Airborne, and you watch that 911 button for the country, is a dangerous one on behalf of all of us. And we appeal to God. I appeal to Jesus Christ for that protection. We're going to speak that word and be open and willing to talk about that at the Pentagon. If they want to criticize that, they're on the wrong side of a very important issue. So thanks for coming with us today. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And that was at 1 hour and 57 minutes of our recording. He, Secretary of War, put out the Commander's Prayer, which was 1 minute 57 seconds, and it was amazing, amazing Commander's Prayer. I want to try to find that again. I got it somewhere.
Nice, yeah.
He narrated it. So thank you to Secretary of War, Mr. Hegseth, sir. Great job.
Nice catch.
Absolutely. So there's some good digs. And that I want to look at actually 43 and 53 because, like I said, in 10 minutes apart. I think somebody else did that, but I'll just go over to QAG on this one to do the dig because I think they're going to be relevant Q posts, and I'm not quite sure if I've seen 53. I think I know somebody posted up. So let's do Q drop 10. It was 10-minute difference, 43, and then 53. So this is from Dan Scavino's post from Air Force One, out the wing there. So let's just go ahead and do it. If you don't mind, Tim, we're just going to do these. You good with that? Okay, we'll say that's a yes. With two people, it makes the screen a little small there. So I'm going to do this one. There we go. If anybody's y'all watching us too, we're on Rumble, we're on X too to see the full screen. Melzie's YouTube, we're also out on there too. Melzie's, it looks like it's the Q School channel, my Facebook, all that stuff. Y'all should know where to find us. But there you go. Anyways, Q Drop 10, October 29th, 2017, 22:57:27 on the timestamp, which would be 10:57 p.m. That's another 1:57. Wow. Remember, the FBI and military intelligence have an open investigation into the Clinton Foundation. Why did Comey drop this? Who was the FBI director during the Haiti crisis? I believe that's Mueller. How many kids disappeared? How much money sent to Clinton Foundation under disguise of Haiti relief went to Haiti or Hillary or hell? What countries donated big money to the Clinton Foundation and why? We just talked about this on Friday. I think Ukraine, Saudi Arabia are some of the biggest donors. How much was owed by accepting? Okay, I talked about this too. These people are organized criminals, okay, just like the mafia. If the mafia gave you a bunch of money in expectation they were going to get rewarded by having a cushy deal on this, or you look in the other way, and you can't follow through, it's not just like, oh, it's like, no, you owe now because we donate all this money to your shady human trafficking Clinton Foundation operation, money laundering and human trafficking funds. And now you're not the president. You owe us money. So then Obama sends all this cash in plain. It was cash. Why wouldn't they do a wire transfer through Congress? Let me read the rest of the Q-Job. Probably answered some of this. When she lost, how would this be repaid? Okay, the money that she was owed these people, or favors, pay for play. What did Obama do with cash just prior to leaving office? Okay, flew multiple planes of cash. We're talking about big, giant cargo planes full of cash to these other locations. Why would they be sending cash? Because that's how you money launder human trafficking, drugs, weapons, plus. Okay, and it's not tracked. Repayment to those who donated for favors and access. Dig on that. Anons have done a lot of that. If you haven't done it yourself, go look up how many planes got flown to Afghanistan, Iran, Syria. I'm missing one, some of the main ones, Iran. Anyways, again, good people were forced into bed with this evil under personal and family threats. Could you live with yourself helping to cover up such evil, despicable acts if given a safe way out? No, this is why the White Hats came to the good people with a plan. 99% are good. Only 1% of these greedy psychopaths are the bad ones that have been in control. And when the good guys have been under their power through blackmail and threat. But when the White Hats come forward with a plan, you betcha they're going to step forward. Okay, these people worship Satan. Some openly show it. Speaking of which, Hillary Clinton, her daughters, well, they wear the upside down cross. Symbolism will be their downfall. They always tell us and show us who they are. Okay, here's the actual timestamp of Dan Scavino's 2 drops, 43 minutes and 53 minutes past the hour. These crumbs are not meant to scare anyone, but merely inform. Resistance will be dealt with swiftly. The core focus is removing entrenched and fortified bad actors within our federal government, past and present, as well as others. Especially this, people would have their security clearance. They would get to keep this security clearance. Then they'd become ambassadors and others bullshit. And there goes your spy shadow government, continue to get bigger and bigger. And then all these people have their clearances when they're shady. That's why Trump removed all these people's security clearances. That's why the fake news covered for them, because they were panicking. They were no longer getting their intelligence. Okay, it's removing bad actors. The core focus is removing entrenched and fortified bad actors within our government, past and present, including presidents, as well as others. Simply be diligent. Phone numbers will be provided if you witness an uprising or other domestic violence, in addition to 911. Any military scene is for your protection, as well as to demonstrate our resolve. Watch for confirmations tomorrow. Okay, now Q drop 53. List all who have foundations. Okay, they all boatload of them, all right? Especially after Hillary Clinton lost, all of a sudden all the donations started going to the McCain Institute. That shady piece of crap. Okay, traitor of the United States of America. Q drop 53. List all who have foundations. Why is this relevant? How can donations be used personally? Analyze the filings. Follow the money, guys. Follow the money. Who is charged with overseeing this? Basically, nobody was. IRS, corrupt, you betcha. And I believe the IRS building is basically closed down. We've gotten some reports on the streets. I know I had some videos on that too. They might be on my Instagram. Politically motivated. The level of corruption in our country and most others is so severe, there is only one way. Alice and Wonderland. Is that the answer, or is it military? And there's that one Q job said there was only one, there was no other way except one. So that's kind of odd too. Now they're saying only one way. Well, let's do that in Gematria just because it's all caps and I got that tab up. So go over to our Gematrinator. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. Only one way comes out to 149. 149. Okay, so where did I want to go now? I got a little bit of a headache all of a sudden. Let me see. Tim's still, he's MIA for the minute. All right. He'll be right back. I'm gonna go over to Instagram, find that reel that my man General Apex made. So give me 1 second to bring that up. Find my man General. Where's my General Apex? Gotta search him. Search him up. Okay. Now it's kind of loading a little slow. Okay, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Man on an island here. Man on an island. It's okay. I can operate on it. Here we go. General Apex. Make sure y'all follow him over there. General_Apex17 doing awesome, great work. Digital Soldier. So we're going to go to Reels, the most recent Reels. Is it the AI one, General? Yeah, I think, is that the right one? What did you say was on there? Okay, now I got to look in the comments. I'm on the island down here, guys. Somebody help me out on the island. Let's see. Where are we at? Whole video. You should play my latest reel on Instagram with the Trump talks. Nelly, or is that the AI one? You there? You there, General? Sorry, guys. Trying to do too much. I got my friends are MIA for the minute. It's all good though. So I don't want to leave us hanging. Make sure I get the right reel. So I'm going to go to Q drops again. Oh wait, Obama administration. Let's see. Cindy just said. Cindy got a little dig for us. Said the Obama administration paid Iran $400 million in cash at the end of his term, which was part of a settlement related to a failed arms deal from before the 1979 Islamic Revolution, which is crazy. All the liberals say, it was their money anyways. Give it to the terrorists. Why not? We sanctioned them because they were doing terrorist activity, but now it's their money if Obama gives it to them. Why did he do cash? Why did he do a wire transfer through Congress, which we have the ability to do? Ask him that. Okay, this payment coincided with the release of 4 American prisoners held in Iran, leading to accusations it was being a ransom payment. Oh, imagine that, paying terrorists. So much for never to negotiating with terrorists. Not when you're a terrorist yourself, like Barack Hussein Obama can't prove he's an American citizen, by the way. Crazy that the left is still doing those memes. When we know that multiple independent law enforcement agencies have determined conclusively that the document he provided is a forgery. And we even know what other document he used to forge it with. Like, it's crazy. This is all in the public. So again, the age of information, ignorance is a choice at this point. All right. So let's go. I know there's some other good stuff on X. I'm kind of on the fly here for the moment, guys. Hang with me. Dang it. So I had some good stuff saved on Instagram, but I'm not sure if I'll know how to get to them because on the computer, Instagram operates a little bit differently. Let me see if I can do. I can do this. Okay. Oh, this one's interesting because what do I got here? All right, I'm gonna play one about Israel, and this is a really interesting video. I just recently saw it. Never heard of this guy. This might be some interesting information to some of y'all, so I'll keep an open mind. I'm just going to say, this guy speaks, man. At first, I wasn't sure, and I'm like, at the end of it, I'm like, this guy's a truth warrior. I'm a fan of him. He kind of gets fired up like me, so this, just, keep an open mind. This information might blow your mind a little bit. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Domestic. The enemy is inside the gate, and the American so-called patriot is an idiot. You're an idiot. I tried to help my country. Disgusting, pathetic. Where's the real men, you idiots, waving your damn flag? Did you ever read your Constitution or your Bill of Rights? Do you even know what the law is? Or are you submitting to the color of law? And by the way, there's a higher law than any of your laws. It's called God's law. Are you aware of that? Do you answer to that? I'll tell you who answers to that, a proper Muslim. You want to know some real Muslims? They're called Hamas. Yeah, Hamas. What do you mean? Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you. By the way, are you unaware of the fact that basically all of the Palestinians, the thousands of Palestinians, we're talking children, thousands, and the rest of them are all raped and tortured in the prisons. I have met them. I have met dozens. I have met Ismail Haniyeh, former prime minister, God bless him, who was martyred last year, who gave me the key to the city of Gaza and awarded me Palestinian citizenship. I've met him. Lovely man. Lovely man. I met the man who was friends with Sheikh Yassin, the founder of Hamas, literally, in London. I met him. He used to hang out with Sheikh Yassin as a kid in Gaza. Of course, I asked about the Sheikh. What a beautiful man. I just told the mother of my children about Sheikh Yassin, or another friend, and she didn't know. She loves the Sheikh, by the way, but she didn't know Sheikh Yassin and the founder of Hamas. He's similar to the Sheikh here. Like, Sheikh Yassin was just like such a sweet old man, and he had spent 23 years, I believe, in prison, tortured, through hell. And when he came out, he came up with his idea, the Islamic resistance, Hamas. That's the founder of Hamas right there. He's more Muslim than probably any of you barring the Sheikh, literally, because he stood up for his people. Does God command you to lay down and just allow your people to be genocided in all your land? No, he does not. God is calling on you to do what you must do and to fight. And so Sheikh Yassin, they hit him coming out of the mosque. They hit him with several missiles, like they hit former Prime Minister Ismail Haniyeh last year, like they've hit so many. And then his replacement was Rantisi. He was another really good man. He was the rightful heir. They killed him too. I remember this very well. I was watching this, like, man, they don't kill the ones that are not so great. They like those. Those are the ones. I'm not saying that all the ones that are alive. We saw Yahya Sinwar. Oh my God, did you see him? The head of Hamas on the ground. The Israelis were like saying that he was a coward. They were basically, every accusation the Israelis make is actually a confession. Literally.
Projection.
Like, literally. Whatever they're accusing me of, I'll tell you about me too. Whatever they're accusing the Palestinians of, mark my words, that's what they're doing. And the Palestinians aren't doing that. So, Hamas, I've been on, they don't invite me on Hard Talk and CNN and any of them anymore. Their policy with me now is like, pretend like you don't exist. And even people who are supposed to be on my side, people like Candace Owens or Tucker Carlson, or just any of these people that have big platforms, it's like, I'm sorry, have you not heard of me? Not only have I spoken all the things you're now talking about, I've been doing it for decades. Oh, by the way, and I've been on the ground, and I've lived there, and I've met the leaders, and I've defended Palestine. I've disarmed Israeli commandos. I'm called a terrorist by the Israelis. I'll get to that in a second. But apparently you don't know about me? You don't. Or I haven't earned the credentials like your whatever university degree or whatever you talked about. I don't talk alone. I do something about it. Talk is cheap at the end of the day. Do you think talk is going to get us to the Holy Land and victory? And God only needs us to talk. Even I know this in Islam. That's the second level. The first level is you got to at least reject and not participate in injustice. That's the bottom line. So usury, boom, we're all breaking that one, aren't we? 2, you've got to speak against it. You've got to put your head above the parapet. You've got to start making yourself a target. Put a bullseye in your head.
Let's go.
It's risky talking. But if you're really strong, you don't just reject it. You don't just not participate in it. You don't just speak about it. You do something about it. You're a warrior for God. And if you ask me, that's the highest of the high right there. If you ask me, Jesus was a warrior. If you ask me, St. Michael, he's a warrior.
Archangel.
If you ask me, Adolf Hitler is a warrior.
Woo, dropping bombs.
Who ended usury, who liberated his people, who created the wealthiest, highest standard of living in the entire world while the rest of the world was sucking on the Great Depression engineered by the Jewish banksters.
Sounds like Trump.
Getting back to Hamas, because I've got only a few more minutes left. How many times did we hear about the 40 beheaded babies and rapes? How many times? Over and over and over and over again. 40 beheaded babies. Rape. We even heard Joseph Biden, who likes to touch his own daughter.
Creepy Biden.
Taking a shower with his teenage daughter. Who touches kids inappropriately. Who's done deals with China. He's got a coke snorting pervert of a son. Biden told us, I never thought I would see videos of babies be beheaded. He said that. And the whole media owned by the Jews parroted it. And Piers Morgan, you coward, you never had me on. What, you didn't get the memo? You don't want me on? Let me answer your question. Do I condemn Hamas? No. Respect. And don't.
So, anyways, wild. Never seen him before. I like the passion, and y'all got to do your own research. So, Kino Keefe official. So his first name is. Where I asked him what he gave me the answer. Where'd he go? Here it is down here. Ken O'Keefe. But then he's also on the, I guess, on Instagram there at Ken O'Keefe official. So, anyways, I just came across that video and it seemed pretty powerful and interesting. So we always want to put out information out there that might be new to you and maybe spark some thought. That's what it's all about. Critical thinkers, right, Tim? We always, take everything with a grain of salt, analyze, and do your own research. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and don't stay too focused on the messenger. Focus on the message. It's always, that's where you have to use your discernment.
I was just
basically close your eyes and just keep your 2 ears open and this closed, and then just, absorb, and then use your discernment. Use your own research in order to get to your conclusions. That's how it works, especially through the Q drops, because there's multiple meanings, right? Everything has multiple meanings. So, and everything has meaning on that course. So, Kyle, I don't know, we're running a little bit out of time, but maybe just fly by some of those history books.
Okay.
Maybe, pick your best two or three out of there. And there's 16 of them available. A little bit of homework for everybody. If you like, just type in history books into qalerts.pub and you'll see them all pop up for you. Yeah. Sorry, I was blackened out for a little while. I had to clean up Matthew there.
No worries, brother.
Clean up an aisle 17, brother.
It happens, man. We always got each other's back. Yeah, and I love you, man, so much. I appreciate all that you do, and love Matthew also. So thanks for being such an amazing father and patriot, true seeker in this world. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go. You know what? Let's go backwards. We're gonna go or descending, or maybe this is forward to backwards. So I'm on Q Alerts here. Let me show you where the address is again. So I put in history books, but I'm going to show you what the address looks like. We've shown this many times, but just in case you don't know, Q Alerts. I think a lot of people use .pub. I use .net. Either one of them, same place. QAlerts.net or QAlerts.pub. Take you to the same website. Again, it's going to look like this when you get here.
Maybe that's why you get a one-off. I use .pub. You use .net. I'm just wondering.
Let's check that. But you had 16 on history books, right? We'll have to check it. We'll have to check it on another one. Let's see that, because it shouldn't, because I'm pretty sure it routes to the same place, but it is very odd that we have different. That is yeah, interesting.
We
Look at
call
this.
them one-offs. The one-offs.
Yeah, one-offs. Look at this. No new Q since this updated on just updated October 13th, 2025. This is Eastern time. 47, 56. 47 is 11 and 56 is 11 also. So we got another 11, 11 keeps popping up.
Wow.
Keeps popping up. Yeah. Okay, so let's go one of the 16 Q drops. What's it look like on the screen? Yeah, we're on the side. Okay. So the last one, that's history books, or depending on which direction you're looking, is Q drop 4773, September 26, 2020. This is really interesting because this is where we find out information that Durham started sooner than we actually realized. Let me these are some screen captures. This is some text messages. I'm going to show that in just a second. And then here's a Q drop embedded from way back December 12th, 2018. Ooh, that's the same day that the Hammer Time Q drop, Tim, with the Santa Claus is on December 12th, 2018. That's 2598. So this is Q drop 2603. Maybe. And there's a Twitter post from Paul Saran. Goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. Rod Rosenstein still overseeing the special counsel. Okay, oversight house hearing, oversight of nonprofit organizations. A case study on the Clinton Foundation, scheduled for tomorrow. Where is Huber? Nobody is above the law. The world is watching Q. And then Q responded on this Q drop, which was the same day. It said, what if there's another prosecutor outside of D.C. assigned by Sessions with the same mandate and authority? One for the history books, not long now, Q. And then Q replied to all that, said, what did we learn this week? Durham's true start, Durham takeover, and Durham takeover Huber, select parts regarding Clinton Foundation investigation, possibly, it could be indictments too. I think that one's Clinton Foundation investigation. What if there's another prosecutor outside of DC assigned by Sessions with the same mandate and authority? Q. Right. So there's so many different ways to go with this. I want to see if I have up the thing that shows when Durham's official start was. Let me see if I can get to my bookmarks real quick to find that. Pretty sure it's right in Durham. Let's see. The DOJ one. There it is. Got some stuff still logged. So here we are on the justice.gov. Of course, justice.gov/PSC, Project Safe Childhood, showing all the arrests for the pedophiles and everything else that people are trying to exploit our children. 19,000 plus of those updates we have of arrested creeps harming our children. Justice.gov. So this is from the justice.gov website. Here's former U.S. Attorney John Durham. The old John Durham there. There he is. And it said, because Q said Durham start, Q start. So if you guys haven't seen this, Q proof also. Of course, we didn't even know who Durham was until I think 2019. We have to look on the Q drops when the first Durham drop happened here. But on February 22nd, that's 2018, John H. Durham was sworn in as a presidentially appointed U.S. State's Attorney for the District of Connecticut. Mr. Durham had served as the interim U.S. Attorney since October 28th, 2017, the very same day the very first Q drop happened. But we didn't hear about him until like 2019, I think. Now I want to fact check this real quick here. When did we actually hear about Durham? So I'm going to go to just QAgs, a little bit easier for me to navigate. So I'm going to put Durham in here. Even that name first appears. So, and we are in ascending order. Yep, not till July 9th, 2019 is the first time Durham is mentioned. AG, Attorney General, that would be Sessions maybe, and Rogers, Admiral Rogers meeting. Durham and Rogers meetings, plural, meeting. Why did Rogers retire? Talking about Admiral Rogers here. Why did Rogers visit POTUS, that's the President of the United States, at Trump Tower without authorization shortly after a SCIF was installed, which is a sensitive, compartmentalized information facility? What's really cool, Tim, about doing the official thing, it's usually everyone's kind of side job. And I had a friend that works on the base, the joint military base that Trump and Putin met at. And I mentioned something about a SCIF, and he said he's been in some, because he actually had to be late for the game a little bit because he had a military update for the federal lockdown going on. I was like, ooh, was the meeting in a SCIF? He's like, no, it wasn't a SCIF. And he's like, what do you know about a SCIF? So have these conversations with some people like that. And then why did select former ABC directors, those are your three-letter agencies, FBI, DOJ would be actually Department of Homeland Security, all that stuff, call for removal of Rogers because they knew he was a good guy. And Rogers basically became so powerful because he's the alliance, the white hats, and he said, "F you, Obama, I'm not going anywhere." And they couldn't remove him. I love that shit. Why did POTUS move his transition command center, base of ops, from Trump Tower the very next day? Q, because they were spying on him. But anyways, the point I want to show here is the first time we ever hear the name Durham is July 9th, 2019. But lo and behold, we find out that he was actually an interim U.S. attorney since October 28th, 2017, the very same day the first Q job went public. Okay, after U.S. Attorney Jeff Sessions, Trust Sessions, signed an order appointing him to the position. President Donald Trump nominated Mr. Durham to serve as U.S. Attorney on November 1st, 2017. U.S. Senate confirmed his nomination February 16th, 2018. All right, now we find out in this Q job, what did we learn this week? Durham's true start. Okay, so when you actually dig into these text messages, let me see what this does on this page when I click the thing. Okay, it goes to a new page. So I'm here, so I can zoom in. All right, these are text messages. We don't have the name. I believe this is Peter Strzok and Lisa Page conversation. If you see the date here, we're on April 11th, 2017. Okay, and there's some conversation here. He was there. Idea of his, these are conversations back and forth in text messages. He was there when I sat in with D the first time. We don't know who D is necessarily yet. Then JB, most likely John Brennan, specifically called me into his office to talk about it. Remember, I won't mention today. Yes, I said both to him, just a reference today. Got it. NP, probably no problem, but maybe Nancy Pelosi, there's always comms here. Thank you. Do you like his idea? Okay, I specifically asked him to reach out to you. Not Bill, that's probably Bill Priestap, because Bill can sometimes go down a rabbit hole. Interesting they say that. He got it, he said he would. Coming up real well. JB, I think that's probably John Brennan. Never called, and there's a new meeting with Bill. Again, Bill Priestap for just the two of them today at 3. Whatever you tried, I even walked by his office using some of it's redacted or whited out. It's kind of interesting. Retext of call I just had with agency GC, or if that's like the GCHQ, I'm not sure. GC. You have to figure out a way to get details. Okay, I'm trying to scan for the part I want now. I didn't think it'd take this long. Baker, that's James Baker. All these Spygate players. Mel and I hopefully do a show in the near future kind of teaching you all the different people. Okay, oh, sweet Jesus, awful, I'm sorry. Personal bad news letter. Okay, here we go. ZT said they were told on Friday that case will go to John Durham, not redacted, which is redacted. Is it Huber or somebody else? I don't know. Why is that whited out there? But John Durham clearly mentioned in this text message, and this is, look at that, April 12th of 2017. So much prior to October 28th, 2017. So why did the DOJ say that was the start date? Okay, it was over before it began, and then we don't even hear about John Durham until July 9th, 2019. But clearly 2+ years prior, these deep state shills are mentioning John Durham by name. I think it's mentioned again here somewhere in the bottom of it. Boom, boom, boom. Hope Bill, John Brennan, guys, go decisions. One more Brennan in this one, I thought, or Durham. Maybe it's the next one. I don't want to scan through too much. And then so I'm going to go to the second one now. Back to this page over here. The second sheet. This one. Okay, and WP, that's probably Washington Post, pushed reporting Trump disclosed highly classified foreign government info to Russians last week regarding CT threats. See, this is how these deep state shadow agency operate. Okay, they got their narrative and they use the fake news, enemy of the people, the not free press, like the Washington Post, which is connected directly to the CIA. Jeff Bezos owns them, and they did the cloud computing software with the CIA. Washington Post, essentially the CIA. Push reporting Trump disclosed highly classified foreign government info to Russians. Yeah, right. Trying to paint that narrative, right? That he's a Russian stooge and he colluded, okay? And more importantly for me, he agreed to a time for interview. Also, when is Gang of 8? That's mentioned in the Q Jobs quite a bit. Gang of 8, should I keep my interview with John D? Right there, John Durham. So they're all trying to discuss this and they're panicking. Panicking be panicking about all this. John Durham's doing the interviews. I feel like there's one more on here. There it is right here. I'm going to continue to postpone my interview with Durham because they're trying to get all their P's and Q's in order. But this is a Q team letting you know we've been watching them all along. We could watch the Panic with front row seats, baby, and it's been a joy to watch. I'll tell you what, huh, Tim?
Amen.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's just one Q drop of history books of 1 of 16 on Q alerts. So like Tim said, so that's your homework. I'm gonna anything to add, Tim, and we maybe scroll for another one or two before we head out.
Yeah, do a little scrolling. Yeah, there's probably one or two that are going to jump out at you.
Here, you want to read this one? It's kind of a shorter one. You want to do this one?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
So Q drop 3728, December 19, 2019. So here's Anon. Tim's going to read the Anon response and then the Q's reply.
Yeah, so the Anon says, thanks for standing watch with us for a little while on the emotional night. We are with you and POTUS. Please pass that on to him.
Boom. So this is Anon communicating. And think about Quantum Leap, okay? This is 2019. Whatever was the emotional experience back then, who knows, that feels like 4 or 5 lifetimes ago. But think about right now. He's doing Peace on Earth. He's making this tour around the world. Who isn't emotional just recently? Just our collective, you could feel, like I said, but it's emotional how far we've come, and you can feel the tide turning. Everything's changed, right? The ball's in our court. We really have won, and people are starting to finally believe it. What does Q respond to this beautiful Anon's post?
Q says, friend/patriot, hold your head high. POTUS was not harmed in any way today other than on paper. In parentheses, history books. Sometimes you must sacrifice yourself for the greater good, quote unquote. I will gladly take all those slings and arrows for you, says POTUS. But even that can be undone. The enormity of what is coming will shock the world. Pray. Signed, Q.
Boom. And so now I know what this was. This is when Trump got impeached, right? So they tried to impeach him. And, that's the guy I feel like in our Q team, Q school shout out from the boss too. I knew I had some, I just didn't get it collected. Maybe today I'll get that stuff together. But Trump made a big Truth Social post about Biden and the Ukraine scam impeachment. And we just talked about that on Friday. We talked about the whole impeachment was a scam. We showed the video. Quid pro Joe, let's call him that. Quid pro Joe was the one that freaking paid for play with Ukraine. If you don't fire the prosecutor investigating my son, we're not going to give you $1 billion. Trump then comes out this weekend, I think it was yesterday, says, let's Congress investigate the scam impeachment on me. And this post is really interesting to me. This is my interpretation here. But like you saying, POTUS was not harmed in any way. And from the very first Q jobs, POTUS is 100% insulated with zero chance of impeachment, right? So, I mean, technically he's impeached the process, but he wasn't convicted of impeachment. There was no way.
They needed 60. They needed 60.
They needed 2/3. So, yeah, it'd be like 66 or 67 if it's the senators, right? Sometimes you must sacrifice yourself for the greater good. And that exposed a lot of things, guys, too, is a lot of liberals, or I mean, I don't know if you call them liberals, they're more central aisle leftists, if there even is any of those left now. They really were like, first they went through multiple years of the media screaming over and over that Trump was a Russian asset and Mueller's going to nail him. The walls are closing in, bombshell, walls are closing in, and then it was total dud. Like WTF, right? Then after that was wearing off, because that was 2019, insert the next bullshit narrative. They're impeaching Donald Trump for just asking if Joe Biden had any corruption there with Ukraine, which is the job of the executive branch, which is the president, to fight corruption. He was literally doing his job. Then Adam Shifty Schiff, the corrupt POS, made up a phone call transcript. He just made it up in Congress. That's lying to Congress. That's lying to the American people. You can be arrested for lying to Congress if you're an American citizen. Why can't our politicians then be arrested for not only lying to Congress also, but lying to the American people? Adam Schiff, you're on the block, player. Coming soon, baby. And we got, let's do that Delta today too, Tim, before we leave, because that's an Adam Schiff drop, okay? So sometimes you must sacrifice yourself for the greater good, okay? Moves and counter moves, taking all the slings and arrows. That's from that video we've showed many times. This one's really interesting, though. But even that can be undone. Will the Supreme Court rule that impeachment was totally injustice and, let's say, even illegal? Is one of the only impeachments, too, where only one side had even voted on it, so that they had the House. Remember, we've talked about this, too, with the election day, being the Democrats don't like to get in the left-right too much, but in general here, the Democrats won the House in 2018 midterm, which is common after the other party wins the presidency, although unheard of, though, was the Republicans gain seats in the Senate. How did they gain seats in the Senate but then lose seats in the House? Unless there was nefarious happenings. And again, the White Hats allowed that to happen for the plan. Okay, but basically so the House votes on the impeachment first, and you have to just have a simple majority. So the House had a Democratic majority. Every single person that voted yes for impeachment was a Democrat. That's not what impeachment is for. Impeachment should be a mutually understood thing. Then it has to be, again, at least a 2/3 confirmation in the Senate. Q basically says they knew they couldn't get that, but this was all for the narrative again. It's trying to hamstring POTUS, right? They did that, and then as soon as the impeachment articles got dropped was the first day of the first COVID case in the United States. Then after people got bored with the COVID, said this is kind of bogus, people started waking up, insert the George Floyd riots and all this other stuff. And then the more narrative, all the bullshit virus to keep the mail-in ballots and try to steal the 2020 election. There we are. But even that can be undone. I think the Supreme Court will rule that the impeachment was totally bogus and it was done by only one party. It was basically another form of lawfare against the President of the United States. And I think it's going to get removed off of the history books too. So we will see how that plays out. That's my interpretation. And I feel kind of strongly about that one. That's going to be wild to see how that plays out. Thanks for reading that one, Tim.
Yeah, no problem, brother.
So here's the one too. This one's a little bit shorter. And this was that in this other one? Was that attached? I think it was. Yeah, this one was attached. So this is important. Q drop. Guess we'll find out if it's actually the right number here. So because sometimes these images, the number's off. So I don't know what that decode is, but I've seen it. So this one is 2603. So it looks like they got the right number this time, I think. So goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. Let's see if we got this tweet status here, what this guy actually said. Okay, there it is. Paul Saran, 1A, hashtag QAnon. Okay, this is prior to the QAnon, QJOP 4881. Thread about U.S. Attorney John Huber and the explosive prosecution effort he is heading alongside the Department of Justice Inspector General Horowitz. In scope and size, it is said to be the biggest in history. Hello, team of 470 prosecutors. Trust Huber, baby. Oh, sealed indictments up the wazoo. So y'all can check out that article. That's your Q School homework. It's the first link from QDrop 2603. It's actually the embedded one, so that might be QDrop 260. Anyways, if you look up history books, it's one of those. Get that link in there. Okay, so let me go back to the QDrop here. This is Paul Saran. There's an article there, so check that out. Goodbye, Mr. Rosenstein. Rod Rosenstein still overseeing special counsel. Let's see what this article is, if it's still alive. Oversight of nonprofit organization, a case study on the Clinton Foundation. There's more of your homework too. This is the history books, your homework on this QJOP 2603. You read all the links from the embedded one there too. December 13th, 2018. Remember, it was originally scheduled for December 5th, D5, 2018, but then they killed off George H.W. Bush to have a state function funeral so that prevent that information from being exposed, but moves and counter.
That was a funeral with all the envelopes, all the wives.
Follow the wives. Major Q proof too, because 1 year and 1 day prior it says big news this week. Follow the wives. 1 year and 1 day later is right on cue. Right on cue. Scheduled for tomorrow. Where is Huber? Nobody is above the law. The world is watching. And Q responds. I just read this one from there, but we'll do it again. What if there's another prosecutor outside of D.C. assigned by Sessions with the same mandate and authority? One for the history books. Not long now. Not long now. We're getting close. You can almost feel it right in your bones, guys. You can feel it. So that's a big post. True start. Okay, Clinton Foundation investigation. Here's another one. Breaking news live. I think they lost their Twitter account. Let me see if it's still up here. Yep, they're gone. Look at this one. This is great too because these are all the replies. Look at everybody got wiped out on this one. All these replies, unless that was all of them. They had a long thread. We could find the rest of that QDrop on QAG. If you go over to qagg.news and go to QDrop 2533, you should be able to click that little file.
Let's do that. Show them on Q. Let's do that. I'm curious to see what that.
Let me my tabs here because I don't want my computer to get all logged down here. So I'm going to jump on over to QAG. So we're going to go over to QAG. We're going to go to, by the way, 34 Durham drops. Wait a minute. Went back to 34. I thought it was 35. This is so weird. Oh, no, that's Trust the Plan. Okay, so Durham, we just talked about Q Clearance Patriot and DJT 41020, and there's exactly 34 Durham Q drops. Hello.
Nice.
But now we want to find Q drop 2533, I think it was. I think that was the one. Yep, here we go. So Q drop 2533. This is one of the 16 history books Q drops on Q Alerts. QAG may have a slightly different number. We could double check. This guy's Twitter account is gone. I just showed that, but we're going to click this file folder here. And come on over here and share this tab. Let's see what we got here. So this is how you do it, though. QAG, there it is. It's still up. So breaking news live. There you got removed. Speaking of limiting free speech, these people are just reporting on the news and saying these things. They got their free speech revoked, but liberals didn't care about that shit. But now all of a sudden, no King's Day, they're talking about free speech. I gotta love that nonsense. Okay, anti-Macron. That's Macron, the French prime minister, whatever his title is. Protest. Video of French police forces brutally beating a yellow vest protester has led to anger among the French population. Warning, footage may be disturbing for some. So these fellow digital soldiers from the French yellow vest protest, they were going for a long time. I mean, they were out in the streets for, I feel like a year or something like that. They were just battling and battling. They getting trampled by horses and other crazy shit. So he's got multiple posts here, or whoever they are. Watch Paris. A group of French police officers removed their helmets to show solidarity with the French people against President Emmanuel Macron as anti-Macron protests continue throughout France. So it's a beautiful thing to see, too, when the police officers start siding with the people, because they still are. The awakening is happening on every single level. And basically, police, especially as far as for sure in the United States, they're basically serving the corporation, the corporate United States of America. And I believe even in Seattle, or one of these super liberal places, the police car says to protect and serve the city or something. So it's actually not even the people. It's even right there in your face. It's to protect and serve the city, which is AKA the government. It's to protect the corporations, not to serve the people. But the police officers are waking up to all this bogus nonsense too. And here they are refusing to follow the orders of Macron and siding with the people. And you saw some of that too from COVID and also even the George Floyd stuff too, okay? All right, so that's that. I got to stop sharing it in that tab.
Okay, so maybe what we should do is go to that one Delta for today about Adam Shifty Schiff, because I think there's going to be some breaking news this week about him.
Okay, yeah. I mean, and even then Trump had made a True Social post about him also just last night too, or today, I think. Okay, so I'm back on Q Alerts. Here's the history books. Again, check out some of these for the your homework, and most importantly too, go check out all the couple links here on 2603. This guy's Twitter account takes you to the Huber X post, but there's an article there to read. And then here's the Oversight Committee when the case study on the Clinton Foundation. So read up on this stuff because it's all going to be coming to the news. It's all coming around the corner, guys. Get prepared. And we'll try to help keep helping you understand what's happening too. But make sure you do your own research also. All right. So another Clinton whistleblower. That one looks juicy also. Future will prove past. Okay, I want to read it too bad, but I know we're all getting long here. So, man, these are all good. So read these, check them out. Oh, here we go. Let's do a short one here. You want to do this one, Tim? 1375?
Yeah, this is a good one. Autists, we thank you. Patriots, we thank you. We came here for a reason. Freedom of information, no filters, history books, be proud, together. Where we go one, we go all.
We go all. Boom. Thank you, Tim, for that one. Okay, so great jobs. Just history books alone, very powerful. So, man, I'm excited. I'm gonna try to maybe come on early and read some Q drops, but I don't want to say it unless I'm gonna do it. So I got to honor my word here. But these ones look really good. Flynn's in this drop too. Can I do this one real quick with no decode?
Oh yeah.
I got that in here. 1265, April 25th, 2018. Q drop 1265. We knew this day would come. We knew people would need a guide. And think about, again, the Q drops quantumly, guys. Imagine this Q talking to us right here, right now. It's more relevant probably now than ever before. We knew this day would come. We knew people would need a guide. We all have a part to play. We knew Flynn would be challenged. Part of the plan. Flynn Jr. recent did not lie to the vice president. Okay, that's what they removed him for by saying they lied to Pence, which wasn't true. Timing, plan. SIG sent White House position. That's like a signal, like signals intelligence. Okay. White House or maybe White Hats position. Moves and counter moves. roll outside of the White House. What is Flynn doing outside the White House? Seems like he's basically a digital soldier with us.
He's got an office in D.C. right now. Just saying, It's been a few months now.
And it seems like it's some kind of a skiff, or it has again, he's got encrypted all this stuff. You know, he was 17th director of the Defense Intelligence.
He even has the Durham boat.
He's got the Durham boat, QJOP 14 picture in the background on his office. And that was a great decode by Jay Rosemary. Shout out to Jay Rosemary. It was a 3-piece poster on his wall. And we wind up connecting that to the poster drop with the 3 different posters in the Q drops. That was really cool. Man, I wish we had all these little clips for these Q proofs we have. But we're going to get these back to with the AI and stuff. It's coming. It's all divine timing. Speaking of that right here, right? Timing, plan. Okay. Talking about Flynn here still. Roll outside of the White House. Quote, lost house, funds for legal, beat up. Not quite sure those references. You are watching a ... 5 spaces or 5 dots. Seems like a movie. What is right? What is wrong? Up is down. Left is right. Left is way left. Like Tim says, think mirror. The news says one thing. It's the opposite, right? They're projecting on you. We just showed the False Kings Day. Talk about false clowns on there. Talking about everything they're blaming Trump for is what they did. The left. Okay? And again, left versus right, all this nonsense. But also think the White Hats are doing the same thing. The art of war. Make the enemy believe you're strong when you're weak. Make the enemy think you are weak when you are strong. Think you are close when you are far. Far when you're close. Okay? Back and forth. Think mirror. Goes both ways. Double meanings do exist. White House position. Rapid changes. Why? Planned, of course. Visibility in one helps another. Connected. Which, by the way, if you haven't figured out, Flynn's on the team. And part of the plan, he also just dropped where we go one, we go all on his X. Shit's getting wild out there. Let's go. Connected. C_A. That's the CIA. It's because they've been blinded. They got the blind eye after Snowden 2, March 7th, 2017, blinded the CIA to Secretary of State, North Korea, Iran, Russia, China, Mexico, ... Okay. Why is this relevant? Think pushback. Open source, that's what we're doing, is open source intelligence. Why? They are watching proofs provided to retain. This is retain the movement, right? Because disinformation is necessary. But that's like my favorite Q drop 2788, which we maybe read on Friday, definitely last week, or also on the radio show. 2788, proofs negate falsehoods and attacks. We have so many proofs, it negates any falsehoods and attacks. Anything else you can understand as disinformation, part of the plan. Proofs provided to retain us anons holding the line. Future proofs past. History books. Q.
Nice. That's a good one.
Okay, so now we're getting short on time. So when you're on Q Alerts, this is qalerts.net or not .pub. The main, when you go to the main, I click this Q up here if you want to get to the home, back to home. Or I guess there's the home button right here also. Lots of little resources on this left-hand side on the computer. On the phone, you would probably click the little 3-bar button there, and then it would open up for you. And then, but it's real simple to do deltas. Okay, deltas is change in time or Q drops from the date that we're on. So today's delta, Tim said there's just one, and boom, there it is. Only one Q drop of all the different years that Q is posting. Only one Q drop on October 13th, and it was from 2020. And I think we had 17 deltas just recently, Tim. In October, was there one?
Yeah, that was last week.
Okay. So, and then, and what was the total number for the whole month? Oh, 252. Was that right?
252 on Q Alerts. Yeah.
252. Did you see our timestamps on the Rumble? There was the one that was, I think it's 22522.
Oh, is that right?
We got to double check that. And then there was 22022 and then 21122. Crazy. We don't do it. We're not trying to stop it on time. Okay. So let's see here. Q drop 4850. Let's see. We got House Intelligence Committee. Let me do this on the new tab.
No, this is Adam's shift. This is all shifty shift stuff here.
Yep. House Intelligence. Yeah. Quote unquote intelligence. So how's that look on the screen? You see that okay, Tim? A little small.
It's a little small, brother. Yeah.
Might be small for the Instagram folks, but I'm just going to read it for you guys, though. House Intelligence Committee to hold virtual open hearing on misinformation and conspiracy theories online. Washington, D.C. on Thursday, October 15th, 2020, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, the HPSCI, will convene a virtual unclassified hearing entitled, quote, Misinformation, Conspiracy Theories, and Infodemics Stopping the Spread Online. Again, Too many Anons were spreading truth about the COVID pandemic, among other things, that these fascist assholes on the left that don't believe in free speech had committee meetings of how to stop this being spread online, how to stop free speech. That's what these assholes did. Make sure you let people know on this False King's Day what real free speech is about, because these cocksucker motherfuckers don't know what it is. They're projection assholes, aren't they? We know what time it is.
Bring
we
your
know
facts.
what they are.
Bring your facts. Just bring the facts.
Bring the facts, baby.
Watch them get heated when you shine facts. When you shine the light, they start getting like really wonky, really weird,
real wonky. How about that, Think Mirror? You show them the truth, they get fired up and all weird and trippy, right? You tell me lies and I get fired up, right? Conspiracy theories and misinformation narratives that prey on individuals' fears and uncertainties, not like the media does that 24/7. Projection, and uncertainties continue to mar the online landscape. Against the backdrop of a global pandemic, an economy in turmoil, and a tumultuous presidential campaign. How about that? That doesn't sound unbiased. There's an ample terrain for malicious actors at home or malign foreign operatives and governments abroad to exploit such tensions by stoking chaos and dangerous, even life-threatening untruths. You mean like the fucking vaccine's safe and effective? Sounds like a life-threatening untruth to me, you assholes. Recent trends in the spread and reach of misleading or unfounded claims online have the unsettling potential to come to a head after Election Day.
Meanwhile, people are like all these athletes. Remember, we went through that whole phase of athletes in the middle of a football game or whatever, and they're collapsing. I mean, we had news anchors telling you the bullshit news. All of a sudden, boom,
died suddenly is a massive page now, and then they even created the bullshit term of sudden adult death syndrome. They created SADS to make you they think you're so stupid you would just buy it, as if that just came out of nowhere. As if that just came out of freaking nowhere. Unbelievable. Okay, I'm gonna keep reading here. Let's see. After Election Day, of course, they're already mentioning Election Day. Again, the foreigners, they're gonna interfere in election. AK, no, they're gonna be the ones that steal the 2020 election. These assholes, particularly if the certain outcome is unknown or contested in the ensuing days and weeks. See, they're already putting that narrative out there. They knew they were gonna steal the election late. Then they're gonna turn on Trump. Then they're going to have 274 plainclothes FBI agents at January 6th to complete that bullshit plan, aren't they? Although the seeds for many conspiracy theories and misinformation narratives, ranging from baseless QAnon posts, baseless QAnon posts like saying, united, not divided, they definitely don't like that shit, to dangerous coronavirus skepticism and denialism, when we show the facts and evidence, to falsehoods about mail-in ballots. There they are calling it out again. Again, painting their narrative ahead of time. All right, this is only less than a month before the 2020 election. Are often homegrown and amplified by American voices. The propaganda and covert influence machines of foreign adversaries have nonetheless repeated and amplified them in the service of strategic interests. Again, guys, in true free speech in America, you're allowed to have these different ideas, and you are smart enough to come to your own conclusions, and the best information rises to the top. These clowns who think they're your handlers, they play on the bullshit empathy as, oh, it's gonna make your mom be a lunatic. They're gonna lose their mind. We need to protect them, so we're gonna silence free speech like a bunch of fascist assholes. So that you only believe our narrative, as if it couldn't happen already in the 90% controlled media by only 4 or 5 corporations. But that shit's failing. They can't stop. Nothing can stop what's coming, but they're trying. They're kicking and screaming. You can hear them kicking and screaming in this post right here. In the hearing, the committee will examine the intersection of and divergences between different online conspiracy and misinformation narratives, the role of social media platforms in the proliferation and deceleration of such content, how foreign actors are taking advantage of misinformation circulating in U.S. online communities, steps the U.S. government and private sector need to take in response. They need to take these responses. The implications for our social and political discourse beyond Election Day 2020. Again, how can they censor your free speech after they steal the election? How about removing the President of the United States' freaking own Twitter account, his voice to the American people, and then all the Anons got wiped off too, so there was no one to even back him up. Sons of bitches, look at this. Dr. Joanne Donovan, guess where they're from? Some Shoren Center of Media, Politics, Public Policy, Harvard Kennedy School. All right, all these same assholes. You know the deal. So the rest of the Q drop. There it is right there. And Q then says, and they upload that image, and the image name is interesting. 83JA837. There's comms everywhere. That's interesting. So that's for the autists to dig into that one. Okay, what happens? Which there's 1111 too. 8 plus 3 is 11. So we get another 1111 in there, by the way. Oh, and J is 10 and A is 1. So it's a triple 11. 11, 11, 7. So there's another 17 at the end also. Don't mind this autist going off the rails. Last part here. What happens when too many people don't buy what they are selling? What happens when too many people wake up? What happens when they lose control of the digital battlefield? Mr. Russia collusion pusher himself now involved? That'd be Adam Shifty Shift. Knowingly lying to the American public. You betcha. That's Adam Shifty Shift.
Yeah, I got 2 words to say about Shifty Shift. Ready? TikTok.
Ooh, TikTok. I like it. And then I know I just had his tweet up here too, where he's talking about his little panic post, because I know I even liked it. Where did it go? Why does it get so far away? Dang it. There he is. Okay, I got him, Tim. I didn't let him slip away.
Oh, yeah, slippy slide.
Slippy slipper. Okay, here's Adam Schiff. This was October 9th. I think he feels like he's had another post like this too. Another dark day for our democracy, think Mir. Another vindictive prosecution of someone on the president's enemies list. No, these are people that illegally used lawfare against them and were using the law and the Constitution and evidence to prosecute them. Another terrible abuse of the Justice Department as an instrument of Trump's retribution campaign, as if this asshole wasn't doing that the whole entire 4 years of Trump's first administration. These actions cannot and will not deter Americans from standing up to this increasingly authoritarian regimen. Yeah, good luck with that. I'm a Shifty boy.
Yeah, good luck, Shifty Shift. You're gonna look good in orange, brother.
Oh, yes, sir.
I think that he'll only be wearing orange for a little while, and then either the rope or the firing squad comes in afterwards.
Yep. And we're gonna
That's
get
treason. That's treason.
Treason for sure.
Yeah. Well, what a show, brother. What a great job. And again, prayers for Melzie and Dozer, her dog Dozer. We'll keep praying for Dozer's healing. Hopefully get back on track. But it's going to be an interesting week, you guys. So keep coming back. We'll be here every day at 2:17, give or take a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we're a little late today, but thanks for showing up. Got a bunch of people all over the place. Make sure you guys follow me if you're watching on X. Bunch of followers there. Thank you guys for always resharing the lives out. Thank you everywhere on the Instagram community. You guys got some great conversation there. I do, whenever I'm playing a video, I try to come back and check on the comments and stuff. Rumble, I'll read the comments afterwards too. We're on Rumble, Hammer Time, Rapid Fire, Q News, our main spot. But if you follow me on Instagram, I have all the links in there too. Instagram, Facebook, my X account. You can find me Undercover White Hat. You can find me most places Undercover White Hat. On X, it's technically at Quantum Healer 17. But if you search Undercover White Hat, I should pop up right there. And we're all over the place. So again, in the Rumble, Hammer Time, you search for Hammer Time. It's the long one, Hammer Time. Rapid Fire Q News with the Q military patch is the profile image. So you should be able to find us over there. Please go give us a follow. We appreciate you. And I love all the love and support from all you guys. And again, thank you for the prayers for Melzie and her pooch. Thank you for my prayers this weekend. I asked for weather. The weather was pretty freaking awesome. Friday night was beautiful. Saturday night was beautiful out here, even this late in the year. High school playoffs game went freaking awesome. It was super cool. And then we did the Pop Warner Championships last night. Everything went really well. A little windy for a couple of games, but no wet, no super cold. So I'm super thankful. Everything went well. Season was fantastic. And we got some moves happening here in the near future. So we're going to see how things are going to move around after all this now. So we'll see how it plays out.
Moves and counter moves. Here we go.
Moves and counter moves for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. Yeah. Good job, brother Kyle. So we could do some, there's 2 things we could do to close out. We always, Scotty Marr is always a good outro, but I do have an 8-minute clip of Steve Bannon just while Q School was happening. And we call it the Bannon Cannon, or it could be the Bannon Rant. But he does a recap of Donald Trump's day today, with Israel and Egypt and now coming home. So I'd be interested to see what he says. It might wrap up history books. Maybe he even says the word history books. Who knows? I haven't looked at it. Okay.
Well, I actually got a good one. I think is from our AA Anon 55. Okay. He's got some incredible videos. 10 Men. I think it fits perfectly with everything, even though it's he's the president of peace. He's also a wartime president. think we'll add that. Where can we find Bannon and the Real America News, Tim? I know the 6 o'clock Dangerous. Where's the best place for people to catch up on
it's called Real America's Voice, or RAV for short, RAV. They do have an app that you can get to, but you just type it in a browser, Real America's Voice, and and go ahead and watch. There it is, right there. Real
so
America's
it looks like
Voice.
this, yep. And then the live, there you go. Bannon's right there. If you guys, and then you can, and then John Solomon and Bannon. If you guys are, 6 o'clock and Dangerous. This, and then really it ties all the Q drops together. Everything we've been talking about. I mean, they're not going to mention the Q drops specifically, but it all lines up. You know, you can hear the Q-isms, as Tim says. And Tim enjoys Bannon. So if you guys like some of his stuff, so he just had a recent drop that Tim's talking about. So y'all go over there and check it out after if you'd like to.
And one more thing too, really, because they have a really unique schedule, right? Bannon's on in the morning at 10 a.m. They have an earlier morning show. It's kind of loosey-goosey, great little cast there. But Bannon goes on for 2 hours, and then you have Charlie Kirk's show at noon for 2 hours, and his team is holding the fort, and they're doing an exceptional job. And then you've got Steve Gruber, that's called Voice Live right there. There's Gruber. Human Events, Jack Posobiec in the afternoons. You got Bowling. He's really cool character too, right? Just before Bannon comes on at 5 o'clock again. 6 o'clock, you've got there's John Solomon, who's in the Q drops. That's usually where we get the first news, unlocking the map kind of news, like declassified information and things like that. He's always on top of it. Stinchfield's doing an amazing job at 7 o'clock. And then the show at 8 o'clock, it's really cool. The Studio 6B gang, they're fun guys. It's like a tight-knit group of guys. They're obviously really good friends. And from time to time, they have a special guest on. But they go over the news, but they do it in a way that, you know, maybe if you're not in the Q-tard, or, you know, you're not one of us Q-tards, but you do want to watch the news and have some laughs and giggles and kind of get into your own flow and conversation. That's a really good show from 8 to 10 because they do make you laugh. They are patriots. And they follow all the breaking news. They don't know about Q. I think one of the guys knows a little bit about Q, but doesn't mention Q. But the other guys, they kind of go at each other, and it's really comfortable watching how news unfolds with that team. So I'd encourage you to, let's say your parents, for example, are used to watching Fox or whatever. Tell them to once in a while watch these guys at 8 o'clock. They'll get a good kick out of them.
It's funny you said that. I was literally just going to say, Tim, is this maybe a great place if people are their families used to watching the news still, or maybe interested in politics, right? Kind of steer them over this stuff and kind of like give them the Great Awakening, but still that mainstream news kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, even me as a Q-tard, like, I love watching these guys because, it's relaxing, it's refreshing, and it gives me a sense that, people are waking up, even though they don't read Q drops. But, the one guy calls the other guy a conspiracy theorist, but they bounce off each other with their ideas and their thoughts and breaking down the news that's unfolding. And it's really interesting to see how they put together, and they have a lot of laughs. They're really funny. They're funny to watch, and it is breaking news. So I love to listen to them, and it's refreshing.
Right on. Awesome. Well, thank you, brother. Another amazing day. And we ran through the posts like machines and covered all kinds of stuff. I think my voice is done now for a minute. I'll be right back up though. So anyways, and I got an awesome little video for us to close out, but then go over to Real American News. If you guys want to get tapped into some of those other stuff, check out Bannon stuff. Maybe we'll play some of that tomorrow. Like we do also from time to time. Tim keeps us tapped in with all the stuff that's happening around the world, the news and stuff. So we appreciate it. Thanks for all the comments, the love, the shares, the likes and whatnot too as well. So we thank you guys.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Same time, same place. Love, love, love. Here comes the wartime president to close it out. We love you. And AANON 55, digital soldier, warrior extraordinaire.
I'm a wartime president. This is a war. It's a war, different kind of a war than we've ever had.
Today, no war has been declared, and however fierce the struggle may be, it may never be declared in the traditional fashion.
Today, the Department of Defense has started the process of formalizing what we have long known the fundamental role of U.S. special operations in defense and foreign policy by elevating special operations forces to a level on par with military departments. We follow the vision of President John F. Kennedy, who predicted the rise of special operations nearly 60 years ago. He foresaw, quote, another type of war, new in its intensity, ancient in its origin, that would require a whole new kind of strategy, a wholly different kind of force, forces which are too unconventional to be called conventional forces, which are growing in number and importance and significance. The global demands for special operations forces then and now has confirmed President Kennedy's foresight. And now, under the leadership of President Trump, we are fully realizing President Kennedy's prescient view of special operations forces.
This persecution is being done by the same weaponized agencies that for 7 years have been running illegal psychological warfare campaigns against the American people, much as if they were trying to destabilize a foreign country.
In the military, I started off my career as an air cavalry officer, flying helicopters, counter-reconnaissance, reconnaissance. Moved later into information warfare as an information operations officer, running psychological operations, computer network operations, deception, operation security, and electronic warfare, special electronic warfare. And I would tell you, as an unconventional warfare, information operations, information warfare specialist, the American populace is facing an unconventional warfare scenario.
President Trump is the commander-in-chief. It's undoubtedly the case, and he has pulled together all the military under the U.S. Space Force. All members of the U.S. Space Force are called guardians, no matter if you're a chief, master sergeant, or a cadet or a soldier, an officer. They are called guardians for a reason.
We have over 200 generals and admirals supporting us now. They ought to switch over to paper ballots. It's all watermarked now. It's really incredible stuff what you can do with paper. Paper is actually high tech.
Watermark ballots in over 12 states have been part of a huge Trump and military white hat sting operation. And Biden crime family and ballot fraud co-conspirators, elected officials, bureaucrats, social media censorship mongers, fake stream media reporters, etc., are being arrested and detained for ballot fraud right now and over coming days, and will be living in barges off Gitmo to face military tribunals for sedition.
Please allow me to say how proud I am of the almost 25,000 National Guardsmen who have come in from all 50 states and territories to help support the Secret Service and the police departments with a peaceful transition of military power.
In my first term, I disrupted all of it. Oh, did I disrupt? That was called major disruption. And in my second term, which we're sort of having now, but I don't want the results. Under the normal rules, I'll be out in 2024.
We are now in the phase, in my view, where the War Generals Coalition, this is a coalition of 200 active duty generals are at work, 34 nations. I don't know the list, I just know it's happening. He has put the US into war, active war. The US, United States codes of court martial are in force. Military justice is enforced. The Law of War Manual 2015, revised in July 23, is in force, and it is global. And it is a coalition of 34 nations that are now cooperating to bring down the cabal.
We're essentially fighting the entire globalist elite power structure that wants to control the world.
We're at war. In a true sense, we're at war. And we're fighting an invisible enemy.
To make it simpler for you to understand, these are military tribunal procedures, and you need to know that in war, which America is, it has mobilized 1 million National Guard soldiers in active duty. The codes of court-martial are clear. A court-martial tribunal can be declared behind a tank behind a barn, on a highway cafe, in a city, anywhere in the world, in the battlefield by the commanders themselves, and executed according to the court-martial articles, depending on the crime that has been committed: high treason, genocide, war crimes, and also lesser, I would say, severe infractions of the law of war.
In light of the countless sacrifices made by hundreds of thousands of American service members and our enormous progress over nearly 2 decades, we are now bringing these conflicts to their successful and responsible conclusion under the bold leadership of President Trump. Should any malign actors underestimate our resolve or attempt to undermine our efforts, we will not hesitate to restore deterrence and defeat any and all threats.
Read between the lines of Putin and President Trump. President Putin gave a football to his colleague in a very good ambiance, by the way. The press was there. And he said, "Mr. President, I give you this ball as a gift. The ball is now in your court." For those who didn't understand what that means, that was the signal to the cabal. From now on, President Trump and Commander-in-Chief and Putin, up to now and going forward, with 34 nations, are doing their job to liberate humanity from oppression.
One of the important factors of the pause is that we see how bad they've done. So we will be able to do it properly, and it will be much easier. Everybody will agree with us because everybody sees what a bad job has been done during this 2-year period, and it will be a 4-year period. Everybody sees that. It will be much easier for us to do what has to be done.
I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I know that justice is on the way, and it's beyond my control, or beyond our control. We are not in the military, and we're not supposed to know what happens tomorrow, because the four-star generals at war will certainly not make a press conference and certainly not disclose what they're doing tomorrow.
Do you guys know what this represents?
Tell us, sir.
Maybe it's the calm before the storm.
What's the storm?
Could be the calm before the storm. We have the world's great military people in this room, I will tell you that.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Mr. President, what did you mean by calm before the storm yesterday? What did you mean by that?
Thank you very much. You'll find out.
With this strategy, we are calling for a great reawakening of America.
It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country, and it is hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country.
You and I have been in this battle side by side and together, and we've been taking on the entire corrupt system in Washington.
We will fight for America like no one has ever fought before. 2024 is our final battle.
When I get back into the Oval Office, we will totally obliterate the rest of the deep state. We will finish the job that we so brilliantly started. Our exciting adventures and boldest endeavors have not yet begun. My fellow Americans, for our movement, for our children, and for our beloved country. And I say this, despite all that's happened, the best is yet to come.
I call on everybody to apply the light, because we are the guardians of humanity. It's us, our spirit, and our light obliterates the darkness.
This is a crusade! This is a holy war against the deep state!
In America, we don't worship government, we worship God.
Oh, yeah. Love, love, love. Hopefully we'll have MelzieKaye back tomorrow. Send her some more love and prayers for her and her pooch dozer. Thank you, Tim17. Thank you all, you beautiful digital soldiers and Enons. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel, 2:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell your friends and family. Love, love, love.